Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate. Watch me elevate. Yeah. All in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
All right, we're gonna go back around again on this one. Hang on, we'll be right back. It wouldn't be an episode of The Brand Show. Something didn't go wrong, guys. Welcome back to The Brand Show. My name is Billy Nichols. Call me The Brand. Guys, before I say anything further, let me first of all play in my guest. I'll let you know when it's time to say something. This guy introduced me to so much in the world. I'm playing you in with the OSW theme. Guys, for those of you who don't know this young man, I've known this guy for the past almost 25 years. Well, I mean, probably longer than that if you really want to get technical about it. But tonight, I'm joined by the host of the host of Pro Wrestling World, and who are you? I'm the Larry Bird of action figure collecting. What does that make you?
I believe the Kevin McHale of action
The
figures.
Kevin McHale of action figures. My main man, my brother, Dan Burque. What's up, man?
Hey.
So, listen, again, we fucked up right out of the gate. It was great. It's beautiful. It wouldn't be the brand show if something didn't go wrong. You know this every time something goes wrong. It's out, and Smalls is apparently now the Rasheed Wallace of action figure
Rasheed
collecting.
Wallace.
Anyway, welcome back to the brand show. Thank you for being here. If you're here, don't forget to hit that follow button. Make sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube. No, YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube and on Friday, do that. But if you're here on Twitch, follow us here on Twitch. And if you're so inclined, please subscribe to the channel. It helps us to keep this channel running and be fully sustainable as a team. Also, I want to thank you all. We are so close to our goal of 1,200 follows on TikTok. Thank you for that. It's been a couple great weeks. I'm really excited to be back. I don't know about you. Feels like, it's been a while.
It has been, well, it's been a while for me to be on this program
because was the last time you were here?
I think I was on before the Czarface episode with Esoteric, which was fantastic, by the way.
Thank you.
It's just the fact that my schedule sometimes has been a little crazy, as I am doing 3 shows right now. So
yeah, plus producing my show.
Yes, and now I'm video editing certain things, so it's just like I'm, as people could say, people could say that I have become more of a person in demand, as they would say.
He's in demand, ladies and gentlemen.
I am in demand.
Listen, if you want to rent him for the holidays, Rent-A-Boyfriend rates are available. $4.99.99 an hour plus tax, plus booking fee, plus management fee, plus arena fee, plus fuck Tickmaster fee. Anyway, enough about all of that. Let's just get right into it, guys. Welcome back to the Brand Show.
Yeah,
we're here.
Good to be here.
And produced by Larry David. Anyway, so we know it's a Super Pal episode already because things are not going right. Things are all over the place. But let's just get right into it. First and foremost, I want to thank our last guest, Esoteric. If you are watching, first and foremost, last episode we had was fantastic. We are so grateful to you, 7L, and Inspector Deck. Thank you very much for being on the episode. That was a lot of fun, but I got an announcement before we get right into this. First and foremost, I've got this announcement, and it's been sitting on my chest for 2 weeks. You can no longer call me Billy Nichols Brand, and this is no longer the Brand Show. I, from now on, will be known as Czar Bill of Himself, and this will be known as the Czar Bill of Himself Show. So get used to it. Name is changing next week. It'll be fun. And don't forget, tonight's show is brought to you by our sponsors at Prep You Products, where you can use code THEBRAND and save yourself 10%. Okay, check out our sponsors, and by our friends at Ringside Collectibles, where you can save 10% on all your wrestling figure and MMA figure needs at WrestlingFigures.com with code THEBRAND. It's pretty great. We use that code on a day-to-day basis, if I'm not mistaken.
All the time.
All the damn time.
My mailman's going to be upset this week because I am getting 2 packages from Ringside, which I will. Well,
we're not at weekly purchases yet, but you can get there. It's okay.
I have my Ultimates are coming in of the Ultimate Warrior and Brock Lesnar, and the Mega Powers Elites are on their way.
Dan, does that mean we got to do it? We got to do it.
We got to do it.
We're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
Oh. All right, guys. Anyway, it's a Super Pal episode. Let's get right into housekeeping. Housekeeping is always fun here because we talk about shit that's happened during the week and we give you all of our stuff. But before I get there, actually, because I'm ADD, I forgot to tell you, tonight our guest is esteemed voice actor Arif S. Kinchen, the man who voiced Pierce Washington in the Saints Row series and has done so much more. He's here tonight to talk about his illustrious career. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for this one. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Pretty extensive back catalog he's been in. He's done some stuff with Star Wars, Lego Star Wars. He's done Saints Row, as you've mentioned before, WWE 2K. He was one of the voice actors in that as well. So very extensive resume. And he's going to be great to talk to.
Absolutely. And for Smalls too, this is a good one. He's actually the voice of General Novak in one of Smalls' favorite games, Deathloop. So he's been everywhere, man. I've known this guy for many years. I'm just excited that we have him. But let's get right into it. First and foremost, let's start out. The midterms were last week, and I was promised a red wave, and there wasn't a red wave. What happened?
Beats me. I don't know.
I mean, Republicans guaranteed victory and went over like a wet fart in church. Now, speaking of a wet fart in church, let's talk about Donald Trump for a second here while we're at it. Donald Trump has announced that he has decided to hold up the Department of Justice by literally announcing that he's running for president again. It's going to be tremendous. I'm going to be on Fox News. America's going to be great again. It's going to be fantastic. Make America great again. But yeah, so I'm not going to get too political, but the fact of the matter is I hate politics. Anybody who knows me knows that. I am a I don't even know.
Educated.
Politics. Self-educated.
Yes.
I'm a politician of my own. Nichols Burke, 2024.
Exactly.
Make America podcast again. But enough about that bullshit. Let's talk about something positive. I first and foremost want to take a moment to talk about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I haven't had the chance to sit down and watch it yet. I'm hoping to go see it this weekend, but the response I've seen and the tributes that I've seen and some of the spoilers that I've read, what a beautiful tribute to Chadwick Boseman. So I want to take a minute and thank Marvel for that, for taking the opportunity. I mean, of course, it's Marvel. They're probably trying to cash in on it. But the fact of the matter, as a colon cancer survivor and somebody who admires Chadwick Boseman so much, to see that his memory has been preserved so well is just hits you right here, man.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked about that. Guys, go out, support Wakanda Forever. Pay respect to the man. He deserves it. But more good news for those of you out there. Good news, everyone. If you don't have Disney Plus, you can watch Andor this coming week. Unlike everything. What's up with that?
More Star Wars. How great is that for people, right?
You know, Dan, I gotta say this. I love Star Wars. Okay, I grew up on
I do
it.
too.
I have tattoos. Ask Blood Drive's leaving gifts in the chat. Thank you, Ask Blood Drive. I appreciate you. Welcome to the show. But man, Star Wars. How do I say this without offending anybody who's a Star Wars fan? Man.
Hot shot booking. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Hot shot booking. Remember when Big E, don't get me wrong, most deserving young man in wrestling in the history of in this generation, Big E Langston deserved that title shot. But do you remember that night in Boston last September when they decided to hot shot that title and take it off Bobby Lashley because we weren't sure if Bobby Lashley was hurt. But Vince went, "Hey, pal, you're taking the belt off Bobby tonight, pal." And then just like that, the belt came off Bobby Lashley. Yeah, I mean, I think that sometimes you have to kind of go with what the audience, I think, is telling you. I don't think Disney is doing that. I think they're just trying to produce as much content as humanly possible. But the problem is that, Star Wars is a golden goose, and it's not going to keep laying golden eggs all the time. And with the sequels that they produced movie wise, I mean, they got diminishing returns at the box office, but also with every one consecutive, but also too, they lost a lot of fan support and critical support at the same time. And, they've had good success with some of the shows that they put on Disney Plus. But a lot of them too have kind of fell flat. There were a lot of people that did not like Obi-Wan. And then going into this, I think that people are starting to get kind of fatigued out, where we didn't have a lot of good new Star Wars content for years.
Yeah,
for years.
And now it's literally
just like every month. Yeah, it's like you gotta calm it down a little bit, kind of bring it back, so that way I think that, and kind of just stick to your core audience a little bit, because you're alienating them by just coming out with content and trying to rewrite lore and canon that people have been talking about for decades.
And part of the problem too, Dan, is the Star Wars community is the most toxic community in the history. Like, they're not as bad as Halloween fans. Okay, Halloween fans, you are the most toxic cunts on the face of the planet, and I hate all of you. Anyway, so listen, I liked Halloween Ends where everybody else didn't, because everybody's like, Michael Myers is not in it enough. Michael Myers has averaged
had nothing to do with that.
Michael Myers, you shut up. Michael Myers across here's the toxicity
shut
right
up.
there.
It sucked. It was a terrible movie.
Michael Myers has been in every movie an average of 10 minutes. I liked it because it told Allison's story. We saw the final exercise in Trauma, and on top of that, there was there were the confusing plot points with does Michael ascend or is he supernatural? I think we should say it's that it is that he is supernatural, that somehow they work a curse in there or something like that, or just the fact that he is pure evil. But I loved the nods to Christine, The Thing. I loved the fan service side of that movie, and I don't care what any of you say. I'm gonna buy multiple copies just to piss all of you off. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get back to Star Wars. So Andor is on this coming week. It's going to be on Hulu, ABC, and a few other places. I'm going to go back and agree with you, because first of all, Star Wars fans are toxic. Like, they lost their minds when Daisy Ridley became Rey Skywalker and was the female lead. I fucking love Daisy Ridley. I agree. I love her so much that I named my fucking dog. Her middle name is Rey, Rey. Yeah. I love Star Wars, but at this point, man, like, I need a break from content. Like, don't get me wrong, Marvel's doing the same thing, but Marvel also has a lot of established characters that deserve screen time. Like, people are mad about She-Hulk. You don't know what good television is if you didn't watch She-Hulk and enjoy it. It was fucking hilarious. It was fun. It was lighthearted. The whole thing with Megan Thee Stallion, I was on the floor laughing watching She-Hulk twerk. But the thing about it is there's just so many great characters that have been established through the Marvel Universe over the years, through comics, where Star Wars didn't have that. And now all of a sudden, here's a show, directed by Jon Favreau, directed by Robert Rodriguez. Like, people lost their shit about Boba Fett because Book of Boba Fett wasn't. Actually, Book of Boba Fett was good. You just don't know good storytelling. The only reason you all jacked off to it was because of The Mandalorian. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, a lot of people disagree with me on She-Hulk, but I'm one of those people who love the She-Hulk not cartoon. I have a hair in my mouth. I was one of those people who loved the She-Hulk comic book. I thought She-Hulk was a whimsical, really fun character. I think, she's very true to Stan Lee's design and writing, and that's what made her fun. But we could sit here and talk about that all night. A couple other things we got to get to before we bring in Arif S. Kinchen. That's going to be fun. Westworld was canceled. How you feeling about that?
It's got a very big following by HBO, and it was kind of shocking that they would cancel something like that. Mind you, this is the same network that greenlit a prequel to Game of Thrones. More Game of Thrones is coming, even though their show, the last season and a half, was considerably panned, not only by critics, but also by the entire fan base. So it's like you lost the majority of your fan base, I feel like, in that first go around. And now it's like, oh, you got to go in and now deal with this, the House of the Dragon. And then I guess they're doing a Jon Snow sequel and that type of stuff. So they feel like they had to cut something. So Westworld, which was successful, had a decent fan base and also was critically acclaimed. They just shit canned it.
Which actually was a good show, too.
It was. And it also just magnifies the issues that HBO/Discovery/ Warner Brothers / Time Warner / AOL / fucking I don't like
every company in the universe.
Every company in the universe. They decided we're just going to keep coming out with Game of Thrones. Like, HBO at this point should just be GOT, because that's all it's going to be. I feel like, as far as their exclusive content is concerned. They're just going to focus on Game of Thrones. They're not going to focus on anything else.
Quick note about HBO, just while we're doing this. Quick note. Did you know HBO turned down The Walking Dead and said it was too violent?
That I didn't know. But also we need to say this week, because it needs to be acknowledged. America's national nightmare is officially ending this weekend as The Walking Dead, the final episode, will be happening this weekend.
Wait, hold on. Let me throw a couple hallelujahs here for a second here.
Yes.
Hold on, ready?
We need the hallelujah chorus. Yes. Thank the
Okay,
Lord.
and thank God that show is ending. I just want to give a quick shout out to a dear friend of mine, Officer Anthony Simo. Fuck you for ruining that show for me in season 5. I hate you, but I'm so glad you ruined it for me now, because the fact of the matter is that show fucking sucked goats after fucking Rick Grimes got on a helicopter and went and did his fucking little Incredible Hulk moment.
Yeah.
Looking back at everybody in the fuck. Where the fuck did he go?
Yeah, they really. I told everybody with the show, they used to watch every week, and I just looked at them and I said, "How are they ending this?"
Well,
because it's a zombie apocalypse. How is it going to end?
Here's how it. Okay, so let's talk spoilers here for a second before we move on to weekly purchases and a couple other quick things. In the comic books, it ended. The ending in the comic books was perfect. It was 20 years in the future. Okay, the Walker population kind of came under control. Like, it was manageable. People were able to return to their lives.
Right.
But kill a Walker if you see one.
Right.
We found out that the virus was airborne. That it because of the CDC, something got out. Well, gee, thanks CDC. I mean,
no shit.
Get a vaccine and you won't get COVID.
Apparently.
Idiots.
I've had it twice.
Yeah, he's had it twice. I've had it now too. Yeah, by the way, between the last 2 episodes, I got COVID. That was not fun. Anyway, but the point is that it ended in the comic book at Carl Grimes with his wife, and they kill a Walker, and Rick walks in, and everybody's okay and alive, and him and Andrea and the comic books got together, and that's how it ended. It ended with Rick telling his grandkids the story of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So it turned out to be a book within the book. It was a beautiful ending, but no, this was AMC. Keep going. This should have ended in season 4 after the prison, but
they just kept it going. They kept it going, and they ruined a good thing because, at one point, it was a national phenomenon.
It was the most compelling show on television the first 5 seasons. When they brought in the governor, my God. When they brought in Negan, my God. But they dragged it. Like, you want to talk about dragging something behind the truck illegally? This was that show, man. Like, BoJack Horseman ended in season 5. It was the right time to end it, as much as I didn't want to stop being emotionally attached to BoJack. That show has so much meaning in my life. Everything that BoJack went through, a lot of it I went through myself. And I just, man, fuck The Walking Dead. One quick note for you guys, by the way, some of you may have noticed, we discontinued our Discord channel that week. That was by design. That is permanent. More news on that later. Anyway, so can we talk about terrible booking here for a minute?
Oh, Christ.
Because this weekend I went to NWA Hard Times, and I came back the NWA World Heavyweight Champion on a hot shot. Wait a minute. You became NWA champion too? What is this, WrestleMania 10?
Yes. We're going to have to have a ladder match to decide who is the real NWA champion.
I'm the real NWA champion.
Because, I'm
holding the belt like this. That means I'm the real champion. Yes. I'm working it heel.
This is the dealer. This is the dealer.
Okay. For those who don't know what we're talking about, NWA Hard to Kill was in Louisiana this weekend. And Fox News analyst Tyrus won what is potentially known as the richest prize in sports, legitimately. Probably the most important belt to ever come into wrestling. NWA's 10 pounds of gold. And this was in a match against Matt Cardona, may I add, who probably should have won, but is more than likely going back to WWE, which is where we all think he's going. Yeah, exactly. So we think he's coming back to WWE as Matt Cardona.
With him on that.
Oh, you're not going to get heat. He loves us. But that's beyond the point. Tyrus, 49 years old, one of the best-selling authors in Republican space. He's a news analyst for Fox News, talks about politics. And honestly, I just want to know who had to jack off who to get this roaming waste of life who used to pretend to be a dinosaur Somebody call my mama. She's going to hate this booking. Like, who used to come out with two beautiful women who were going.
Yep.
And go. Like, he was a fucking joke in WWE, and now he's the NWA World Heavyweight Champion at 49 years old and literally looking like he can barely move because he carries more weight than I do and his hips can't take it.
Yeah, I questioned when Trevor Murdoch became champion, but, you know,
he was actually pretty good.
He was actually decent.
Yeah.
You know, and I've questioned, there have been some low points with the NWA title. I'll be the first one to admit it.
Colt Cabana.
I was just thinking of that. He shares a bank account with his mother.
Okay, enough about those. I just wanted to give a quick note about it. I didn't really want to go into it.
Oh shit!
But
here we go again.
Tyrus, terrible choice. Now, guys, we're getting ready to bring in our guest for the evening, esteemed voice actor Arif S. Kinchen. Before we do so, I just want to take a moment. I didn't forget about him. This past week, we lost Kevin Conroy at the age of 66 to intestinal cancer. It's been a tough week, I think, for all of us here at A Bunch of Nerds, as we were all huge Kevin Conroy fans. A great human being, one of the nicest men you will ever meet, and sadly was to be a surprise guest on a future episode, and unfortunately, that's not going to happen now. I'm hurt to say that. Kevin was someone that every time I saw him, I always stopped to say hello, who remembered me by first name, and, you know, I had gotten to know to an extent, and oh, man, that hurt. Rest in peace, Kevin. We love you. With that being said, I'm going to skip weekly purchases because Kevin was so much more important. All I need you to know is that this is the best action figure that was ever made. This Spider-Man Homecoming Ned Leeds figure. That's all you need to know. Go watch the channel to see what I bought this week. I really just can't delve into something like that after talking about Kevin Conroy. Like there's so many good things I could say about him, but I do have one more thing I do want to talk about on that. We talked about this earlier in the week, and I'm just gonna. That's supposed to be over there. I want to show you guys something because we have exciting news. So this is Brand Talk Live. The logo you're looking at on the screen is something new coming from us here at A Bunch of Nerds Media. We're very excited about this. I don't have many details to share right now. This is going to be a platform exclusively on social media that will air on opposite weeks of the brand show. Stay tuned to our social media. Make sure that you keep up with us. Brand Talk Live is coming soon. We will tell you more about it as soon as we have more information. I promise you. But that was my one exciting thing that I totally forgot to talk about at the beginning of the show. Oops. All right, guys, we're gonna be right back. We're gonna go get Kinchen into the show. Get ready for him, and then we're gonna decide who the real world's NWA champion is. So stay tuned. It's the Brand Show. We'll be right back. Guys, we're here to sell a new product on the brand show. It's called Brand Flow. And today we've brought in our dear friend, Pierce Washington, to sell Guys, first and foremost, let's welcome in our guest, an esteemed voice actor and actor, a man with many beautiful talents, many beautiful credits, and probably the best beard in all of LA. Probably the best beard in the booth. Ladies and gentlemen, Arif S. Kinchen is in the house.
Woo! Listen to him. He's here. He's on the place to be.
Everybody's been saying that about our show lately. They call
Listen, brother. I'm with a bunch of nerds, brother. Ooh, the macho beard is here with you all. Can you feel it, brother?
And that's how you introduce yourself, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know the man below us with the beautiful War of the Worlds, Battle of the Worlds, G-Force background, this is Arif S. Kinchen. Many of you have played Saints Row 3. Well, here's Pierce. Let him sell you some Saints Flow, man.
Hey, come on, man. You better watch out. It might chase you in the middle of the night.
Anyway, how are you, man? It's good to see you. It's been a minute.
I'm doing great, man. Everything's been amazing. We made it through.
Yeah.
We made it through being locked up at the house.
Well,
so it's been pretty good.
We're
good.
back. We're outside. It's working for us.
We're back outside, but now I'm like, I don't like you guys.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. Listen, let's talk about you for a minute. I'm going to tell the story of how I met you, and this is the funniest story ever. So it's like late 2008, okay? I had just met Antwan Pearman, when he was doing Gamer Fit Nation, okay? So Antwan's like, hey, man, you going to – hold on. Yeah, man, you going to E3? No, I ain't going to E3. Why, man? Yeah, man, I go to E3 every year. You should come with me some year, man. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye. So 3 days later, he calls me. He's like, what's up, man? I'm in L.A. Yeah. I'm in the In-N-Out drive-thru. You're not going to believe who's in the car. And I'm like, wait, who's in the car? You're going to tell me, like, Jenna Jameson's in the car? He goes, no, man, even better than that. He goes, and then Arif just starts talking about Saints Flow.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, man, you're with Pierce Washington? And he goes, yeah, man, I'm with Pierce Washington. And it's just what?
The ultimate ad man, always ready, just right there, like, hey.
Always moving, always thinking. If you guys
let's sell these big pins right now.
Exactly. If you guys don't know Black Bible, he's one of the greatest people in the game industry.
Literally.
I mean, what amazing director, amazing talent, gone on to do great things left and right after the game industry. But yeah, my first introduction to Arif was thanks to an In-N-Out drive-thru. So In-N-Out, there's a free promo for you.
Hey man, double.
So,
gobble.
It's been a good 2022 for you. Just looking back at everything you've been doing this year. Let's just, you know what? Let's start here and we'll work our way backwards. Because I mean, we got some people we need to talk about. We need to talk about you working with James Avery. We need to talk about Carlos Ferro. We got a lot of stuff, but catch us up. Where you been? It looks like it's been a pretty fucking busy year, man.
I have been exceptionally blessed to have projects that I worked on prior come out now, and then stuff that I worked on recently come out quick. It's just weird, man. COVID switched up everything in production across the world. But for entertainment, it made it where it's like a boom, boom, boom kind of scenario, unless whatever they're working on screen hasn't been finalized. And that happens a lot too. Sometimes we're the cart before the horse. So they get us done, and then they're still trying to, rotoscope or color in and fine tune stuff. Man, there's stuff that's coming up, man, that is mind blowing. That if we talk in the middle of 2023, I'll tell you some of the funniest stuff I've seen in some of the newest favorite shows of people to come. That is just hilarious. Like green screen not being finished, and you're just looking like, as a fan, you're like, that doesn't look right.
I mean,
something's off. Something's off.
Everybody's complained about color grading in the last year. I mean, we were talking
because we all have 9K TVs. They were all on sale at Costco.
It was a Black Friday sale in March.
Yeah, it was a Black Friday sale in March. We don't even do it.
Honey, I'm sorry. I went to the store for groceries, and Stop and Shop had a sale on Stop and Shop brand TVs. I bought 5.
Exactly.
You can buy a TV now for like the price for 1 week's groceries.
You know,
Daniel,
Like-
I was in the store today in Target, and I literally looked at an LG 85, and I was like, $500?
That's
Are you
nothing.
kidding me?
Compared to like 20 years, 30 years ago, your parent or parents or grandparents they're buying TVs for like
Yo,
$2,000 and they're like 227 inches.
Yeah.
wasn't a 27 Sylvania or Magnavox like $400?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
Like
man.
hey, we have a composite cable. Oh, it's so
Oh!
technological. It's so technological.
Are we living in the future?
Wait a minute. So you
They
mean this is a
audio video
32?
cable in the front.
This is a 32 and it has 2 speakers? What? Let me get 9 friends to carry this back to the truck.
You know, it's funny because I tell everybody this, and guys, if you're going to buy a TV next Black Friday, make sure to double check what you're looking at, because the TV you're probably buying is 6 or 7 years old technology. Like, it's not going to have HDR for $98 like Walmart Plus promises.
Nope.
Anyway, speaking of TVs, you've been on a lot of TVs lately, man. Most recently, it looks like we've gotten a release from you of Dan's favorite property, which I like the opposite of. Ghostbusters Unleashed, new game.
Oh my God.
At Gun Media and Ilphonic. Also, by the way, Dan, Prince Adam has entered the chat. He just wants you to know that.
Oh, there he goes. He has the power.
There's a running joke about Ghostbusters 2 between him and I.
Billy
Oh
was
my
the
God.
kid in the beginning of Ghostbusters 2 that was chanting for He-Man. That was his fucking
Oh my
party.
gosh, you better do it, Betty. You better do it. I hope you got some props and fanfare for that. You should have.
Anyway.
You should.
Yes, I should still. So let's talk about this. Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, your newest release. Tell us all about it, because I haven't even had the chance to sit down and play it yet.
So number one, I think because the game is out, we can say this because all the NDA stuff. It was called Swayze. So number one, I was like, what? What am I working on? Okay, that sounds cool. And then you're auditioning, you're doing it, and then you finally get the call. Hey, they want to give you the deal, and you're like, okay. And they're like, you're actually Ghostbuster number one. Excuse me, I'm whom? What does that mean? I said, it's probably another code name. It's probably another code name. Then you get there and they're like, hey, welcome to the new Ghostbusters game. You're like, wait a minute. So are you certain that that's what I'm doing, or is this some sort of weird thing that you guys are playing a game on me? Did someone write you to do this? I've seen all the Ghostbusters. I most famously love, the Bobby Brown theme. We gotta take control.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Yes!
Best movie soundtrack of all
Hey
time.
man,
Literally.
let's just all be honest. The song was dope as heck. It
Good.
rang true on all elementary campuses. But aside from the naming of the characters, it doesn't really have anything to do with the movie. It's just it's a dope ass song. Ray Parker had the most content, related, and has the strongest groove. But there was something about that Bobby Brown.
Let's just talk about
Something
this
about
for a
that
minute,
Bobby
man.
Brown and buses going by. That made it amazing.
That Bobby Brown tune, Take Control, man, it's still a banger, and it's been
is
almost
a good song.
35 years. I have
Yo.
that in rotation in every playlist
Well
that I
made.
have, man.
Same.
Well-made music.
Bobby Brown was my guy. Come on,
Dude,
now.
Bobby Brown is the guy.
It still
And he
is.
has some damn good seasonings for poultry and your meats.
Wait, what?
He really does. He really does have a brand of seasonings. This dude is not playing with you.
Oh my God.
Hey, I've put on I didn't put on the freshman 15. I put on the COVID 75. So this
Same.
mofo, when you
I
see
lost it.
him dancing at his shows, you're like, Bobby looks big because he can cook his ass off. He don't need nobody to cook for him.
so
Bobby
his-
cook for his own damn
so,
self.
So is Bobby giving you an invite to the barbecue yet? Most important question.
No.
We tried. I'm trying to get it in because I want to get up there and sing. Take Control with him.
Bobby ain't letting me in the nothing.
So what you're telling me is if I bring a pound of smoked barbecue chicken, a pound of pulled pork, and a gravy boat of crack, he's not going to let me in?
No longer with the crack unless it's that Patti LaBelle. What was the one that everybody was following her sweet potato pie?
Oh,
That I
that
still-
was that.
that I
that
still
is the
look at
crack.
like-
Sweet
But I still
potato
look
pie.
at like,
Yeah.
I still look at her pie like, I don't know about that. I don't know. They're like, hey, it's amazing. Yeah, if your mom can't cook. But so we're doing the session, and they're explaining that they like, and then like basically in the session, okay, Arif, your character is this, that, da, 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 and it's set here, it does this, it does that, and it's being put out through this company called Ilphonic. Raphael Sadiq, and they were like, what? I said, Raphael Sadiq's company, and they were like, what do you mean? I said, from Tony. And they were like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? I said, he's one of the creators of this company. I said, I need to breathe. I need 2 seconds. And I damn near like coughed up a lung. I was like, it never rains in Southern California, bitch.
But here's the question. You hear Raphael Sadiq's name, but does it feel good when you do?
Oh, hell yeah. It feels good. Yeah. I mean, because it was really exciting because I heard him talking about it on another show. We won't give them props. It's a show that's amazing. Oh, Questlove Supreme. Questlove from the Roots that plays the drums on Tonight Show.
Questlove is always valid around here.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, so cool. You know how crazy his podcast is. So this dude was talking with him, and they were talking about it, and it was like, yeah, I guess that is the next frontier, especially if you're creative. You love video games. Yeah. I mean, almost all of us. We've all played Tecmo Bowl. We've all played Mike Tyson Punch Out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
everybody's got an emulator.
I mean,
now.
if the controller works, when we do My Blood Drive, sometimes the PS2 starts up. Sometimes it just. So it's like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Because I still have the OG. I bring out all the relics for the blood drive. Yeah. So, but what we were doing it's just fun, man. Yeah. And some of the stuff, the minute you say, you're throwing out the trap, it becomes very real. And then you say, "Don't cross the streams." It's like, oh my God, I'm really doing a game. This game, it's very fun. I have to say that I've played a couple of rounds of it, and it's not easy.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's not hard, but it ain't just, oh, I'm gonna jump on and play this game. It's like, wait a minute, whoa. The ghost haunted everybody?
No.
The hell?
Ilphonic has always been involved in cool projects.
Yeah.
I remember when Summer Camp was a thing.
Oh, okay.
Summer Camp became Friday the 13th the game, as you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham shut that down before we got Uber, Jason. I'm still mad about that, guys.
Oh my God.
Fuck up and settle your fucking lawsuit.
Settle it.
But yeah, they worked on that. Now they have that new Texas Chainsaw Massacre game they're working on.
And the Predator game, apparently.
Really that Predator Hunting Grounds game was awesome.
But I think Arcadegeddon came out of nowhere.
Yeah, totally.
It's a beautiful game, and it has a very good look. And they've been running patches, and it's still going. I just hope that people pick it up and give it a chance. I think that's the thing. Video games have almost become like Netflix, where there's so many.
And plus, it's now streaming too. When
it is like now you just walk away from it. Oh man, let me tell you, I played one of the games that I own on Game Pass Cloud. It played better.
Yeah,
I was heavily pissed too. I was like, so this is what we get. I said, if you would have explained yourself better from the stage, nerd, maybe we would have just said, oh, always on download. Gotcha.
Yeah, and you know what?
Do you remember everybody losing their crap? I'm the guy that likes Connect, okay? If everybody wants to know, I like Connect. You know why? Because I like to Skype my family from my couch. And it followed me around like Portal. Like, hey, yeah, I'm over here making kitchen. I'm cooking chicken. Now I'm making some smoothies. So you good, Grandma? And it will follow you every damn where.
So then Grandma's yelling at you because you didn't put enough seasoning on the chicken.
Man,
you didn't put enough strawberries in the smoothie. She's mad
at you. The Connect
you.
camera is a freaking technological dream, but it's huge.
Yeah, you're right. Do you remember when I ran Structure Gaming? We used to have a video, and it's still around. You know my assistant Farva.
Yes.
Farva's still with me. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a story. There's a video floating around on the internet, and I'll send it to you on Instagram after this, since you deleted your Facebook. Speaking of Connect, there's a video I took of Farva because my hop hog.
Wait a minute, which Facebook got deleted?
Your personal Facebook.
Oh yeah. I don't mess with it.
But my hop hog was hooked up at Farva's house. This is when I was living with him, and He's playing the Michael Jackson Experience.
Oh man!
And I got a video of Farva dancing to Billie Jean.
Once again, not a hard game,
No,
but it wasn't easy.
It's not easy, but it was fun.
Not easy.
I agree with you on Connect. I don't think Connect got the love that it deserves, but there is a couple games, before we skip all the way back to a ill-forgotten wonderful time. A beautiful time, the early 1990s.
Yes.
Before we skip back to the early 1990s and talk about your uncredited scene in House Party.
Bruh,
we're going to talk about that. Don't you worry.
Bro, please do, man.
But I want to talk about
I love it.
That came out that I didn't even know you were in until I saw the credits. I popped when I saw this. Now, for those of you who don't know what pop means, pop is like cheering. It's a wrestling term. I popped when I went to the credits and I saw that Arif was in Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I just want to talk about this real quick because it's front of mind. It's really cool. You played one of my favorite characters. I don't give a fuck what any of you say. I love Finn. You played Finn, FN2187, one of my favorite characters in the newer series. What a great character. What a great friendship with Poe and Rey. Love that character. Talk to us about it. How did that all happen?
I just loved the second act misdirect of the 7th film where you almost thought he was going to be the Jedi. You remember? The misdirect when he lit it up, it was like,
I wanted it.
I was like, you're full of crap. You are full of crap. And it was like, okay, he could wield it and he's worthy, but he's not. So I was like, okay, that's still cool. And then I like this storyline, but playing him, I think as we like you guys were talking about earlier, we're getting so many everything. We're getting so many Star Wars, so much Marvel, so much everything that took a long time to get prior that we're becoming almost submerged in the hot tub. The hot tub's getting too deep. We need to be able to still keep our neck out, and it's now starting to get to about here. Yeah. But his character was one of the first times we got to see the other side of the Empire. Hey, maybe these dudes don't want to do this.
Yeah. And
maybe there's mofos on their side that don't want to do it. And that's the thing about Andor. I'm going to put my foot into it. The thing about Andor and Obi-Wan that I think was good is the fact that we get to see the other side of the Empire as illustrated from the beginning of Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2. It's like they really thought they were doing the right thing.
Damn. In the words of Rick and Morty, deep cuts.
Deep cuts. Deep cuts like
that was like the deepest fucking cut this show has ever had. Like that was better long-term booking than AEW has ever seen right there. Like you took it back to Battlefront 2 and you're right. The Empire had this strange god complex, but what I loved about Finn is like such even seeing it like as a Lego man.
Yeah.
He's a deep emotional character that you can, if you're not stupid and toxic, that you can get attached to. He's a
fish out of water.
And John Boy,
he's just born.
Lovable. Yeah,
he's just born. If you think about it, when he takes the helmet off, it's like he's a brand new person.
Yeah, he becomes himself for the first time. Since before he was a child, because he was. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while, but he was kidnapped and brought to the Empire.
You know what? That damn near sounds about right. That, like, if folklore goes back, that sounds about right. But it's like, my name is these digits, and then, the coolest pilot in the land, he gives me this nickname, and that's how I introduce myself, and everybody just accepts me for who I am. They don't even know about all the rest of this stuff. And even when they find out, it doesn't matter because I've shown that I have good in me, and everybody just kind of welcomes me in. I'm like, wow. That's pretty good. Not like the I don't trust you Andor rebellion. Like.
All right.
Who's your driver? Who's your driver?
Give us a synopsis of Andor, since you have an expert tag on your resume here and your voicing of Finn. So like bring us up. Well, first of all, guys, if you don't listen to Hey Archer Thursday nights on YouTube, youtube.com/HeyArcher and youtube.com/nerdaffiliated, Steve is our friend, our constant collaborator and a Star Wars expert. He's also in the chat. He's probably toy hunting right now at Target because the last message we got from him was, at Target now. LOL.
Oh my God.
But fill us in on Andor since we're on the subject. And like I told you, this is the brand show, man. We go all over the place. We go where we want, and we shotgun
Hey
it as
man,
fast as we can.
this is why I love it. The Andor is a pre-show to basically Rebel Base. What the hell was that movie? You got to make me want to look it up. The one that we had where Rogue One. Yes, it's the
Great movie.
the predecessor to that. It's precursor to that. And thus far, I don't want to give any spoilers. I don't want anybody finding me in the middle of Target kicking me somewhere. But it's just showing you everything that was going on before he got to the point of doing what he was doing in there, meaning our lead character, Andor. But I love the fact of Karma. This is a huge spoiler. Please cover your ears if you have not heard this yet. I love it in like I think it's the 6th episode. This fool is on the beach minding his business after telling the rebels, man, he was like, I ain't fucking with y'all. I got my money. I'm out. I'm not fucking with you. I'm gone. And he goes off and like he rides into the sunset. Got a bad chick laying in his bed. He got money laying around. He just minding his business. He walking on the beach. Somebody else does a crime. And they're like, hey, you stop. He's like, what are you talking about?
All right, I don't care if that was a spoiler.
I'm minding my business. What are you talking about? And they put his ass in jail.
You know,
all the crap that he did, everything that he's done, they put him in jail for walking while rebel. He just was walking. I was like, this is the most hilarious crap because this is how life is. Hey, if you did something bad, they're gonna catch you, and what they catch you for is probably gonna piss you off. You just did some crazy intergalactic, just orgasmic, crazy, yay type stuff, and you got caught for walking. Damn.
Well, that's how they took Capone down. They got him for tax evasion.
See, exactly. But could you imagine if they would have got Capone for literally spitting?
Yeah.
What?
Man, I feel like sometimes I fart and I'm gonna get fired. So
yeah,
you know.
Amen. Amen. It wasn't until I saw that there was a show called Cop Rock back in the day, and they pulled a guy over for digging in his nose. Do you know that's against the law? Both hands are supposed to be on the wheel. I'm like, everybody's going down. Everybody's going down.
Talk about references. He just referenced Cop Rock. I never.
Hey, buddy, I'm a deep cut. I'm a deep cut dude, man.
Damn. I think we need to add a podcast to this podcast lineup. We need Arif Deep Cuts presented by a bunch of nerds. You want to do it? I'll do it.
Hey man, just remember, there's no GNUs like Gary GNUs. Okay,
we just do a whole episode on just the 10 of us.
Cuts. Like we could. I mean, hey, we don't know what Brand Talk fully is yet, so that could be what Brand Talk fully is. All right, let's get into this though. Let's start at the beginning, man. 32-year credited career, amazing career, may I add. You have worked with some of the coolest people on some of the most underrated stuff in history. I'll say it right now. Don't give a fuck what anybody says. Sparks was underrated.
Yes.
Underrated. What a great show. What a great cast. But let's start with the beginning. The first appearance of Arif S. Kinchen.
And his blonde ambition.
Was Kid and Play's classic. What a classic. If you don't own this or small as you haven't watched this yet, House Party 1990. I mean, I need to go back and watch that again. The 30th anniversary 4Ks are getting ready to apparently finally drop, which I'm excited about. Let's talk about this. So you were an uncredited background dancer in this movie.
Yes.
What a great way to start.
Background dancer and kisser.
What a great way to start your career, man. Talk about it.
Okay, so this is the greatest thing, and this shows you how the phrase kismet or destined and all that type of stuff really means something. My friends were talking to the casting people, and they said, well, do you have any professional pictures? Because we went to LACHSA, which is the Los Angeles High School of Performing Arts, right? Jenna Elfman, and now you have You Lift Me Up, Josh Groban. He went there years after me. All these great people went to this school. But, you know, they said, oh, yeah, we have some pictures. and they give him like a 4x6 group picture, like all of us hanging out. It's great. It's fascinating. It was the most professional picture ever. But listen, so they said, "Hey, who is that?" And they said, "Oh, it's our buddy Arif." Hey, Arif, these guys like you. Come down to the office. Okay. They never got hired.
Oh,
I hired you.
My buddy he's had a great career. Jeffrey Adamus, one of the greatest dudes on the planet. He is a fascinating human being, Puerto Rican strong, and living a great life, and one of the best cosplayers you'll ever meet. Junior high friend. But so they didn't go with him. So I went and I said, well, I got to take my cousin Marcus. Remember when you were a kid, you had to take somebody with you?
Always. Him.
Where are you going? Where are you going to the store?
Him.
Take your cousin with you. Hey, you going to the mall? Who's going? Take John and Rick.
Dan, I'm going to the bar. I need somebody to bail me out. You coming with me?
Hey, I'm going to a party tonight. Take Daniel and Billy, damn it. I got Billy's mom's number. I know who she is. You take them.
Yeah, hello,
So I had to
Billy's mom. Yeah,
so
he's drunk again.
here goes all the name drop that's about to happen. So I took my cousin Marcus. Hold on to that. So I took my cousin Marcus. We go down, and they love us. My cousin Marcus found at the beauty shop how you could just spray in the blonde on his hair. Fascinating. So we go down there.
You had to have them blonde streaks.
Yes, we go down there. We film the stuff. Talk to the barber that's there. He lets me use his clippers. I cut my cousin's hair. The directors are like, you guys are cool. I got an extra scene for you. Mind you, I'm like 15. It's already like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not tired, but I'm not as well awake as I should be. So, hey, can you guys be out here and kiss? Oh, no, she should probably kiss that dude over there. Because Tammy, which is the girl that want me to kiss, is the liaison from the agency. And she's married to one of the other dancers that's there with us, because they sent us over like as a pack of 10. And I'm like, no, I don't want to kiss her. Because he's pretty good with the hands. I've only known him for 3 hours. This mofo will beat me up.
And I'm 15.
So they put us in the scene, and I was like, I promise to God I didn't kiss her. He said, I know you didn't, brother. I know you didn't. Oh.
so he got a little bass in his voice.
A little more bass. And so they had us do that, and then they had us dancing and everything. Got to meet Full Force, make Groove be chill, like the whole group. So Daryl Chill, as we all know, had his horrific car accident, but he is now, or he was, on NCIS New Orleans, and he's on one of the continuing on long-running Walking Dead shows that probably stayed past his welcome. But it gave Kyrie a chance. It gave Cyclops a chance to come in as the dang, what is it, Ezekiel?
Yep.
So I'm happy about that. Any black man walking around with a tiger, that's cool. Because all we had with LL Cool J was walking with a panther. Deep cut. All right.
Very deep cut right there. Very deep cut. Wow.
Okay,
Stay tuned, Rick and Morty fans.
So look it. So we're doing extra work in Culver City. So what we do is we go to the mall every time we have lunch. So after a while, you start looking around the room, and then almost like those mob movies where it's like, yeah, Big Timmy ended up dying, and Ricky went up the river. Timmy actually started a club of his own, like that type of thing. You can look through all the extras. The Far Side were in House Party.
I mean,
they weren't the Far Side yet.
Wow.
All right, Dawn from Pump It Up. Remember Dawn that got hit? Yeah, her group, because they had an amazing rap group. They were in that movie.
What?
My cousin Marcus, then out of nowhere, once I start really acting, I look up. He's like, "Hey, listen to my demo. What do you think about this?" Oh, sounds pretty good. This is you? What are you guys calling yourselves? The Wascals. What? I've only been rapping since I was 12. Why about leapfrogging? Everybody leapfrogging. All my friends is leapfrogging. But it was freaking phenomenal. So remember, the Wascals was like the little cousins to the Far Side. So it's like, it's so much of a full circle moment with this movie. And of course, rest in peace, we got AJ Johnson from there that was playing like the Eazy-E Curl guy.
Yep.
So his father is the guy that got me in to Cinex, which became Central, which was the extras casting thing, because Eddie was actually the guy on site that was signing all of our paperwork and making sure we were there for all the dance scenes. So it was a fascinating time. And then Kid and Play, man, I can't say enough about Kid and Play, and same thing for AJ and Tisha, but Kid and Play were stars, dude. They were stars. And I think they damn near knew everybody's name by the time they left the set.
Dude, Face the Nation is probably one of the most important rap albums of the 90s, too. I'll say that about them, too. And then Lab Cab in California, Farside.
Oh,
man.
my God.
Damn,
oh, my God.
we're going. Yeah, absolutely.
And
it was
Act's really good, too.
Yeah, but it was
yep.
the cool thing about House Party, especially for those suburban folk of us here. It was a look inside of a different culture, and like a lot of our first real like indoctrinations into hip hop. And you know, like as you know, last show we had Esoteric from Czarface on. You want to talk about talking about South Central LA and people who really understood the rap scene, man.
Czarface is everything, and I feel like Logic. I mean, I say this from like right before the pandemic and during the pandemic. I just found all of these guys because of Spotify, like leaving it on.
Yeah.
Like listening to one person, I was like, Atmosphere. How long has Atmosphere been around? The fuck? What? And then hearing all these other guys, because, okay, name drop again. I went to school with Tumex from Visionaries and OMD. And the thing that's and the Mind Clouders. So
Damn, really?
Because I've been rapping since I was 12. So, like, at our high school was Will I Am of the Black Eyed Peas. And Kyrie Santiago, who was part of Def Squad with Eric Sermon.
Yep.
And Ahmad back in the day. Those are all guys that I went to high school with that I still have way more than decent relationships with. And it is just a trip. But Tumex went there and he was like, I don't really know, man. And now, literally, this dude's fan base will destroy you, man. Talib Kweli tried to break Raw and say some shit like, oh, you're racist. And half of LA came to Tumex's defense. Half of the hip hop community, I mean, like Freestyle Fellowship came to his defense. Medusa came to his defense. Volume 10, everybody, like all the people that used to be at The Good Life, me being one of them, everybody came to Tumex's defense like, pause. I still have a little bit of a like, with Talib about that. I'm like, that was a bad rock to stand on, bro. Not when a person's really good, and especially with Tumex just having to lose his leg to diabetes, which he didn't know he had, and he's making it through. Now he's going through dialysis. Oh. It's like you can't pick on a person on the ground, man. This is not a Steven Seagal movie. Yeah, this ain't John Wick. You can't shoot the wounded.
No, you can't kick somebody when they're down.
Especially when people love them.
Yeah, but also, I mean, if you're gonna come with somebody, come with facts at least.
Yeah.
You know.
And I can see it. Some people, from their standpoint, okay, maybe you did this and that, but I'm like, this dude grew up in the heart of Mid City. Are you looking at his timeline? Do you know anybody that knows him? He's basically interlinked with Black, white, and Asian culture in LA, and he's Latino. Nah, he's not racist. He's given more jobs than he's taken.
Yeah,
trust me.
Can't say I know him, but
yeah.
You know,
well, let me tell you, I'll send him to you on Instagram. When you hear his music, you'll be like, "Oh snap! I know who this dude is."
Yeah, I probably do. I just can't put a name to the face. Right
Bizarre face, just. The comic book idea of his whole alter ego and the lyricism was just very captivating. I think that's the best way to say it. It's like, it's so freaking on point. Him and Aesop are just like dudes that you just like.
Yeah. Well,
these guys are good.
Esoteric is, we said it last week and I'll say it again. Esoteric is the greatest rapper to ever come out of Boston. 7L is the most underrated producer in the history of the universe. 7L he's just, first of all, phenomenal dude. Both of these guys are just great. And then the legendary Inspector Deck. How do you beat the new Wu-Tang Clan? How do you beat the new Wu-Tang Clan? Like, it's impossible. I'm sorry. It's like saying Josh Allen is better than Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I went there. What about it?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Come at me, Bills fans.
Uh-oh.
But moving on, let's move forward to
They can't. They're buried under snow.
Body and Soul. That was the name of the rap group. I was trying to look at it without showing my phone. It was a group called Body and Soul. That's where D Barnes came from.
Yeah,
And
go
we were
ahead, grab
all
your
there.
phone. It's okay. We're
Yeah.
looking it up now.
Yeah. And, and I have a picture within my timelines of me, Martin Lawrence, and Rosie Perez, and Rick and Robin Harris.
All right, well, let's continue on that timeline. So we're gonna keep within the 1990s, which had more ounce than most things in the history of the universe.
Let's go for the next uncredited role.
The next, probably, and you know what? A show I would have, with true honor, taken, especially considering what it's meant to just our generations. You know, as far as the lessons it taught us, and what Phil Avery, what Will Smith, what they taught us.
Man,
what a beautiful show this was. You were a student, uncredited role on the legendary. I am willing to say that amongst all of Will Smith's nonsense in his life, what he does is his business. I don't judge people for who they are. I only judge them for how they treat animals and children. But Will Smith, you were on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes, I was.
Now let's talk about that. How did that happen? And we're going to talk about James Avery because we got to get to Sparks very soon.
The phone call, as always. Hey, Arif, what are you doing on Monday, Tuesday? Okay, great. You're going to go in, you're going to get wardrobed, and then on Tuesday they film. Okay, be there at this time. And I always show up early, and I'm sitting there, and it's great, and you're working. And then I meet the first AD, who I didn't realize would become one of my lifelong friends. His name is Rusty Coleman. I'll explain that later. James walks by. Hey, how you doing? And then Lorenz Tate comes in with his brothers because he's too young to be there by himself. O-Dog is too young to be there by himself. So his brothers are there, and I get to know them. Like, oh, hey, what's going on? Hey, we seen you around. Oh, whatever. Well, and then of course, you're filming. I see Carlton. That's so horrible. Can't remember his name right now, but you know what I'm talking about. I see him. I went to school with him for a little bit, not a long time, but a little bit. And we're just minding our business, and we go to tape night, and they always talk about Will mouthing words. I literally watched him running his lines and mouthing everybody else's words while he was backstage to keep his place to get ready for his scenes. And I was just like, why is he mumbling? What is going on here?
Also, you're thinking of Alfonso Ribeiro.
Alfonso Ribeiro, thank you very much. So I'm looking at it, Will, like, wow, this is amazing. And it was super cool. So you just keep on minding your business. You film the show. Hey, Arif, okay, we want to put you and your buddy Greg over here. You guys are going to be absolutely enamored with Tatiana Ali. And it's like, she's a little kid, dude. I don't know about that. You got to remember. That was during the age of if you're 19, you can play 12. What? That doesn't add up mathematically.
That, honestly, I've seen Eliza Dushku do it so much it never added up to me. Shannon Elizabeth, same thing. Like, think of the 90s, American Pie, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. You think of those movies, and it's like a long-running trope, and Dan, I think you'll agree with this, that it's a long-running trope in Hollywood that, you always see somebody who's older playing somebody who's younger, and it's like, well, why,
I know why it is, because that's right at the heart of when they started clamping down about, hey, man, you can't have these kids on set all night. Yeah. You can't have them hear all this. They got to get some reading and learning and arithmetic.
Right. Yeah, they did that with...
Put some money back in their account. Stop Gary Coleman in them.
Yeah.
It was like Jesus.
Now, to say that for a minute, because I've heard this story a million times, and honestly, I find her to probably be the whiniest person in the history of acting. Danielle Harris talks about how she couldn't get paid enough for Halloween 6, so she didn't take the role because she was underage and they didn't want to pay her. And then she complains about how Jamie Lee Curtis slighted her at a premiere once and then asks you to book her. So yeah, I'm not a fan, but
wow.
Now, mind you, after the abomination that was Dominique Oden and Gerard's Halloween 5,
yeah,
I wouldn't have wanted to have come back to that series, but
yeah,
you hear that story all too often about the person that was a child actor in a movie, and then they want to bring him back to kill him off or do a
Yeah.
cameo or something. And, you know, they're like, oh, I want to get paid this much because I was in the franchise before. Well, you're going to be on screen for 4 seconds. We'll give you $5,000.
It's a double-edged sword. That's usually your agent and your manager talking slick. I've always been very, very lucky to have people that call me and they say, "Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? How does this sound to you?" All right, well, or like, "Are you sure? Do you think we should ask for that much? I don't know. That seems like a lot, dude. Sounds like a lot." And that's the thing where it's like that's what your agent's supposed to do. They're supposed to work with you, not over you or knock you down. Because yeah, money can knock you out of a role, and then it's like everybody in Hollywood hates you, and you're like, I was at the house. What happened? I took a nap. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? You don't know why everybody hates you because your guy has been on the phone. Like I found out something about one of my managers. He got some money to the side for an appearance that I did. I got some money, and I was like, wow, they paid a lot of money. If they gave him some money and they gave me some money, ooh, that was a lot of money. So you start feeling bad once you start hearing these horror stories in the aftermath. So that's probably what happened to her and a lot of other people. Or, you know, some people think that they shit don't stink and they think they should get paid more. And I'm like, like you said, you're on stage for 15 seconds.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. Dan, you look like you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
They changed they changed a lot of the child labor laws in Hollywood after the Twilight Zone incident, the Twilight Zone movie incident.
Oh my
For those who don't know
God.
the Twilight incident, like the three of us do, go ahead and say it.
It was John Landis was shooting the because it was an anthology movie where several directors did one story each, and John Landis, who directed American Werewolf in London and at that time, he directed the Vietnam piece with Vic Morrow and 2 children that were Vietnamese, and they worked them on hours they should have been working. They were also not of age. The paperwork was not put in correctly. There was an accident on site where a pyrotechnic hit one of the helicopter, and the helicopter crashed and killed killed Vic Morrow and the 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And John Landis ended up getting sued by the parents and almost did jail time and pretty much also ruined his career.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did do Coming to America and some other movies after that, but pretty much his career after that.
Coming to America was his piece of de resistance. Made Eddie Murphy's career. And now, don't get me wrong, we always knew Eddie Murphy had talent. His time on Saturday Night Live was something else. But
it's Gumby, damn it!
Gumby.
Good morning, my neighbors. Fuck you! Yes. Fuck you too! I've always wanted to
For
say
me,
that out loud.
It's always been 48 hours of trading places. So great.
So moving on, we go to the year where I first saw Headlights in Dumb and Dumber.
Yep.
Well, we're gonna skip over certain credits. I'll let you do kind of a middle synopsis, but
okay.
The beginning is the most important because.
But you're forgetting the greatest of all roles. Saved by the Bell, the new class.
That's where I was going right now. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about probably, all due respect, you were the only good thing that happened with this show. Probably the worst reboot.
I can't find that crap anywhere. Like you know how you want to have some stuff just for my records, just to have it for my records.
Just to have it in one of your demoed
Dude,
reels.
I found Hull High with Kenny Ortega that got me kicked out of my dang high school before I went to Palisades. I found that on a German bootleg YouTube channel, and I can't find Saved by the Bell. Somebody made somebody mad. You got to be hella mad to like wipe it all.
All right, listen.
It's like a clandestine organization came through. Wipe it all.
Listen,
I'm
about to go Michael Myers on this show, if you don't mind. Okay, ready? I got the Michael figure. I don't have the sound effect, but literally, Saved by the Bell, the new class is right up there with Disney Presents Doug, the new Doug.
Oh no!
Yeah,
you're right.
I think
you're right. I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you're right.
I went there.
I think you're right.
The fuck at me. That show.
Come at him, bruh. Come at him, bruh.
Anyway, so talk about the experience. Talk about this absolute abomination.
It was cool. We went to go film somewhere, somebody's country club. So that number one was really cool. Number two, it was the thing of how do you feel about not having your shirt on? Excuse me.
You mean I get to look handsome in front of the ladies? What?
There's a lot of those moments in my life where it's like, I've always had a dad bod, even before kids.
Same. Actually, no, not same. Dan, would you say my dad bod showed up when Lily showed up?
You had it a little bit before.
I was never obese. I was never, quite diabetic, but it was always like, ooh, you look thick.
Damn that boy thick.
The girls be like, ooh, there's something to hold on to in the winter.
If your wife is watching, I'm sorry.
Keep them warm in the winter.
I know my wife's watching, honey. I'm sorry.
These are the minds of 20-something-year-olds in the year 1990s.
Oh, man. What did we do back in the 90s? Worry about AIDS, wear a condom at all times, and then dance to Ain't Nobody Humping Around.
And always look for a phone booth somewhere well lit. My pager's going off. God dang it, pull over.
Someone paged me 80085. What is that?
What code is that? Oh, I think that's Larry.
I get it.
Wait a minute. I think that's weed. Pull over, pull over. Who has a quarter? Who has a quarter? Give me a quarter for your kingdom.
So we're Saved by the Bell, the new class.
So we're there. My feet are in the water. Bianca Lawson, who is now on Queen Sugar, she's freaking amazing. Here goes a deep cut. Her dad is married to Beyonce's mama.
What?
Richard Lawson is who Beyonce's mom married after she got divorced from Matthew Knowles.
God, I love this show.
And Richard is a handsome motherfucker.
But is his beard better than yours?
Oh yeah, he has true salt and pepper. You see the black and you see the white. You see more black than you see of the white. I believe that my mom used to mess around with Michael McDonald, and I might be his love child. Anyway,
Dan, that's a deep cut. That's a deep cut all in itself. Hey, Dan, next episode we're bringing Michael McDonald along so that way he can
Michael McDonald Kinchen.
So listen, we're gonna for the rest of the show, I'm gonna have Michael McDonald here to undersing everything you say.
Taking me to a reef.
What just happened? A Michael McDonald reference. Woo!
Give that boy a fender rose and some Schlitz. Play the hits, Daddy.
Play the hits. All right.
Oh, man. For those that don't know, Michael McDonald probably appeared in the greatest of all TV shows. Should have been an Oscar-nominated performance on a show called What's Happening when Rerun jumped up and dropped the tape recorder.
I remember that. But he also followed Peter Griffin and his crew around to be the night watchman, and Peter just stopped and goes, "Fart!" And he sang the fart.
Fart!
Moving on from Saved by the Dumpster.
Saved by the Dumpster.
Let's talk about a criminally underrated show. Now, we were talking about this the other day, and Dad called me an asshole for saying this. I believe it was on UPN, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Told you! UPN had excellent programming in the late 90s.
The United Paramount Network.
Oh, man. They had some really good shows. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Shasta McNasty was a great show.
Dude, Star Trek The New Generation.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Star Trek Deep Nine.
Yep. Deep Space Nine.
Thank you. We
UPN
got the
had these great
Borgs.
shows.
We got the Borgs because of them. We got Patrick Stewart because of them.
Yep.
What? You're right.
They were doing some things.
Let's talk about the criminally underrated Sparks.
Yes.
What a cool show. For those of you who don't know, Alfonso Sparks is a lawyer in a practice in Compton. Really cut to the inner part of the culture in South Central LA. Had two sons, Maxie and Greg, who joined his practice, joining the father's business. One of them's an ambulance chaser, and one does it by the book. So you know what? It gives you a good paramount for that chaotic and that good energy. It was a really good show. You played Lamar Hicks in this show, which was headlined by, again, I'm gonna say it, one of the greatest of all time. I love this man to pieces. I'm sad I never had the chance to sit down and just shake his hand and have a conversation with him. James Avery, also known as
James Avery, Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil, the shredder on top of that all.
The shredder, the one and only, the man that put me into voiceover, quite literally.
Well, it's
you have a great voice, Arif. He said, you have a great voice, Arif. You ever thought about doing voiceover? What you talking about? Everything for me is always, so what you talking about? He was like, using your voice for like different projects. I mean, sounds cool. Like animation and things like that. Yeah. I said, I'd love to do something like that. That would be pretty good. He said, oh, you should look into it. Talk to your team. Think about it. And I was like, all right. So as I looked for agencies, that's how I ended up at SBV. They actually had a whisper room before it was required.
Wow. Now that's inside right there. But let's talk about Lamar Hicks. I remember watching this show. It aired, if I remember, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m., kind of like a certain show that we're on right now that got moved to a special Wednesday night episode.
Hey, man, and you want to know what's more frustrating? Okay, so it aired on Mondays, so that was great. But let's talk about the most frustrating part of today's episode.
The fact that
these mofos let me off work at 12:30 yesterday.
God damn.
I was like, son of a... But I didn't want to risk it. I did not want to risk
it's quite okay. We have more viewers than AEW Dynamite right now.
Man,
so I'm
that
fine with
is a voiceover thing. No, but I mean that's the whole thing about voiceover. It's like you're either like, I'm working on a show now, can't talk about it, of course, where it's like, hey Reef, do you mind staying like an extra hour or two? Do you mind? But then I work on stuff that's like, we have you booked all day. That was great, Arif. You're already done. It's 10:30 in the morning. What you talking about? I'm done. I canceled everything. I canceled everything. I was supposed to have an appendectomy. What are you talking about?
Oh, man, my colonoscopy was at tomorrow, and now what?
Wait a minute. I scheduled this because I thought, I can go.
Tune up, but it's not gonna be done at 1 now. Damn.
God damn it! So,
and I think that's how everybody in LA always sees actors sitting in their car. Like, these guys have a great life. They just sit in their car. No, they're in their car, baffled. Like, what should I do now? I'm done.
I guess I'll go.
I don't know what I'm
McDonald's.
supposed to do. Do I go eat? Should I go run an errand? What do I need to do?
Yeah. So let's talk about Lamar Hicks, because
yeah.
I'm saying it, guys. If you can find the show, I think it's on Paramount Plus now.
No, man, find it on it's on my YouTube, and please email Paramount that you want to see it more. It's on Arif S Kinchen on YouTube. I put a couple of episodes up.
Plug your stuff, man. Put it in the chat too if you want.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. So Arif S Kinchen is the YouTube. I'm gonna put it. So also I'm ASK Blood Drive. If you guys didn't know.
Now we know. We're gonna talk about the blood drive and Ask Arif later in the show.
But yeah, I'm typing it right now, and as you can see, I type as if I wear glasses. like wait a minute, I wear like what's it, the lenses, transitional lenses.
You doing one of these right
now? like I have a chain.
We see you.
like that connected.
But yeah, plug it, man. We'll get
I just put it in the chat, so it's there.
Oh wait, but hold on, Smalls. Can you do me a favor and allow links in the chat, please? Yeah, Smalls. Smalls is my regular co-host.
I need Smalls to continue to police, because the next link is going to open the Matrix up. We're getting out.
Yeah, we're getting out of here, man. Anyway, so let's talk about this fantastic show that, well, now I know I can watch on your YouTube, and I'm going to go binge this weekend because I did very much enjoy it. I remember staying
fascinating,
home,
dude. It's a fascinating show.
The problem was I had to tape it because it was on at the same time as Monday Night Raw. If it was
Monday night.
Watching Raw and Nitro was very
Raw and Nitro have a history, and if I'm not mistaken, we were on right at the height of The Rock coming into his own.
1996. Yeah, you were
yeah,
there right as the Nation of
98,
Domination started.
99.
and Tumex was always like, "Have you seen The Rock?" I said, "When does it come on?" He said, "Oh, they're on W." I said, "That's my competitor, man."
There was also this guy too walking around singing Jimi Hendrix.
Yes,
and,
yes.
playing
Is that Stone Cold?
No, that's
okay.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, of course. Oh, the NWO. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we got to
yes,
talk
yes.
action figures sometime. I'll show you
Man.
a thing or two about a thing or two.
Let me tell you, man. Watching Young Rock will bring out every nostalgia you've ever had.
Oh, I've been
It's
catching up
very
on it.
hilarious. It's so hilarious when you see him bring in these figures. Do you remember? Okay. Let's sidebar.
Sidebar
Do
to
you
Sparks. We're
remember-
gonna get to it. I
Do
swear.
you remember when we didn't have cable? I mean, literally. Do you remember when it was Select TV and On
Yeah.
TV
Yeah,
and
of
Z
course.
Channel? Okay. Do you remember watching wrestling after SNL?
Yeah,
You remember
because,
that?
Yeah, because ECW was on either Nessun, which
Yeah.
is New England Sports
Saturday.
Network here in
Yep.
Massachusetts, or you had to catch it on the Spanish channel at 4 a.m.
Saturday
Yep.
night main
Get it.
event was on after SNL.
And Saturday night's
Yep.
main event was on at 1 a.m. In
Yeah.
the 80s. Yeah.
Do you know how ruined I was because I started falling asleep when Hulk Hogan went to the hospital? You remember that?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, that
when
was,
they whipped his ass
King
with the
Kong
chairs?
Yeah, it was before WrestleMania 2, I think, against King Kong Bundy.
Yeah, Bundy
Yeah.
Bundy did a run-in during a match on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, it
to
was
beat
him
the
against
snot
Don
out of it.
Morocco.
Yep.
It was the same
Yeah.
night they debuted the Real American music video.
It was.
Oh my God.
And that
Oh
was
my
right
God.
after they debuted Real American too, because he was using Eye of the Tiger up through.
He was using
WrestleMania
Eye of the
1.
Tiger. Well, he had Eye of the Tiger in '84 and '85, and then he had an instrumental thing that they did for the wrestling album. So he was coming out to that for a while. It was
Dan's
the
a
same
wrestling
theme.
historian. Arif,
It was the
just so you
same
know.
theme.
No, I
song
love
they
it.
used for Hulk Hogan Rock and Wrestling, the cartoon
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, man.
used to come out with
Okay, I was gonna just say that.
Yeah.
So in the morning, I'm seeing Hulk with Junkyard Dog as I'm eating my freaking corn puffs and fruity
Loops.
pebbles. No, cause you know you're running suicides in the bowls. Like put the fruit flavors all together. We're just gonna eat it all. So you're watching your cartoons and you're enjoying it, and then later that night he's getting his ass beat, and you're like, yeah, I gotta pray at church tomorrow because this is. I don't need Hulk to die. God,
No, we didn't.
if you are there, God.
Listen, I'll add to that. If y'all haven't watched Tales from the Territories on Vice, talking about kayfabe, man, kayfabe is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing, and I'm sad that it's dead.
Oh man.
So
It's been dead for 30 years, pal. It's all right.
I know, pal, but I'm still sad, pal.
Hey man, hey,
Listen,
some stuff still hurts, man. Still,
Listen,
I know.
it's like this. I never got my Mega Force sequel deep cut.
listen, I never got my sequel to No Holds Barred. I don't know if Mel and Rip got fucking married, but you know the one thing I do know is that somebody from Jack Pacific kept my childhood alive and gave me this X-Pac prototype, which sits on
Oh
my
my
desk.
God.
Pretty cool, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I told you we
Good
next
job.
talk.
Fuck.
Good
But
job.
the fact of the matter is, this kayfabe is alive and well for me, plain and simple.
There it is. So back
So-
to Sparks.
It's back to Sparks. I've wanted to talk about this show for so long because I loved it. And you were so damn good in this show. Like, it felt like this show always to me felt like Family Matters with a different family. And
Yeah.
to me as a kid, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but Family Matters was very important to me because it taught me love, respect, and tolerance.
Yeah.
And and shaking everyone's hand the minute you walk in the door, from the janitor all the way to the principal, if you get
Yeah.
the drift. So I
And
always,
I did a lot of uncredited work on Family Matters.
no way.
I dare you to go back to Eddie Winslow's classrooms and start looking at episodes.
Oh, I will.
Cir-
I have them on
Circa
DVD. man.
1991, because I graduated. I had nothing to do. I had to go to work. And let me tell you this: the one thing about Hollywood, when you are first doing extra work, if you live at home with your mama, you just want to get fed and get some money.
Yep.
So Family Matters on tape night on Friday night. If you ever get
Days
anybody
go
from
by.
there, ask them about craft service on Friday night. Tape night food is like being taken to freaking Laurie's Steakhouse. It's just,
Wow.
it's always Friday night is the food night, and anyone who knew anything, Miller and Boyette, which if I'm not mistaken was their company. So Step by Step was the other family, right, with the guy from Dallas.
Yeah, Patrick
Yeah,
Duffy.
yeah,
Yep,
Patrick Duffy.
Patrick
So
Duffy.
that's what we filmed House Party over there, and we did Getting By over there.
When he's not Scuzzlebutt's leg.
Wow, that's a deep cut. I'm just letting this go. You know what? This is fun.
jeez.
Fuck it,
I
we're
can't.
going
I'm
late.
TV's Patrick Duffy.
We got another hour to go. It's fine. We can do this.
But,
We're until 10:30. I don't care.
But so we're over there, and we're working literally at Sony Studios. So we're at the time it was the brand new Sony Studios in Culver City. So it was just phenomenal, man. It was a great time. We also filmed The Last Action Hero over there, which was great. And I got to actually meet Arnold. I don't know if I got a handshake, but I got to say, "Hey, Mr. Schwarzenegger." He was like, "Hello, how are you doing today?
How you doing? Did you lift weights?
Are you liking your minuscule job? You're being paid so much less than me. You wish to smell my cigar. It's worth more than your home." Like, what?
I am the last action hero. It's turbo time. Get to the
I am the ass. I'm the last.
I am Jack Slater. Yes.
Get to the chopper.
You know what? That movie actually gets better with time. It literally does.
Action hero.
There's more reasons. There's more reasons to laugh every single time you see it. You're like, this movie actually should have got a lot more props.
My favorite
was a lot better.
The villain when he shows up, like when he crosses over and he just shows up and he's just like, and he's in the middle of New York City and he's like, I have shot someone, come arrest me. And no one does anything because it's New York City.
And he's like, yes, I like this place.
New York City is a Grand Theft Auto server, and I've said that many times. So final thought on Sparks. So
No. We got way more thoughts. So working with James. James Avery
Guys,
literally is a
around.
teddy bear. I mean, one of the best hugs you'll ever get. It's like, you know, when your uncle has been in the service and you ain't seen him since you were like 5, but you talk to him on the phone and he shows up at your 10th birthday and he got a gift for you and gives you that hug. That's James Avery every freaking day. Every freaking day. Yeah, the hug. Screw the gift. The hug is everything. This dude took us to Barney's. He had to go look for something. We go to Barney's, and he's like, "That tuxedo looks good on you." I said, "Yeah, it does, huh? How much is it? $2,500. No, let me get this off of me real quick." He said, "You work on TV now, Arif. You can afford it." I said, "Huh?" He said, "I just like spending other people's money." I was like, "That is some rich people shit. That is rich people shit."
Man, James Avery sounds like
I like spending other people's money. What? That is rich people shit. You've had money for a cool minute to say some comment like that. That is wild.
Man,
but like little stuff like that, and then he took us to a restaurant that they closed down, and they're fighting to get historical value out here. You remember where Denzel met the 3 wise men?
Yep.
It's called the Pacific Dining Car.
Oh, I know.
When I say, so did you have a steak there when you were in LA?
No, man. The only reason I know it is because my family used to own a Worcester Diner car, the Rosebud. The Rosebud in Boston. Yeah. My family used to own it. Yeah.
Okay, so you know the classiness. It's like outside you see a train, but when you get inside, it's the old glamour. It's the fucking glamour of the dining car.
Red fucking
it's
carpets,
old. Yeah. It's old money. It's the what was it? It's the Orient Express. It's all that type of shit. All the stuff you imagine when you're reading the book and they're telling you about it. And I mean, some of the nicest people. We go there after going for Miguel Nunez. We used to work at the Union Rescue Mission for Thanksgivings. We would go down there and, you know, the typical stuff, but before Instagram. So we were down there actually giving out turkeys, stuff like that. Yeah, you know, hey man, Miguel Nunez, he's the first to tell you. He's probably one of the longest working actors in Hollywood. Always is doing something. First black dude to get killed in a Friday the 13th movie. He's done everything.
Yeah,
Tour of Duty was his first show. Joanna Man.
13th is he in? He's in
the second one. Like they had the Jerry curl, so I think it was the second or third one. It has to be second, third one. But he's there, and it's like.
Wait a minute, no, he takes a party favor to the eye.
Yeah, I think so.
Friday 7.
No,
I thought it was 5.
No, 5? You sure it wasn't 3?
Was it 5?
You got to remember, this was the '80s that he did that,
Well, here's the
and
thing.
he had a curl.
I know. Wait, no. It's either 5 or 7. He's in the outhouse and he runs to the. No, he runs to the outhouse and then he gets, boom, and he just gets wrecked. Yeah, that was 5. That was Roy Burns.
Damn.
Yeah.
They had already done that many by then.
Crap
God
my
dang.
ass.
Crap my ass.
Crap my
Yeah.
ass. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-too.
And also the Jamaican
Got
in the Scooby Doo movies,
No
or the Bahama Man. But yeah, so Miguel, we're down there and we're hungry, and it's early. It's like, once again, we got released early, so we're hungry, and James is like, oh, we should go by the dining car. And James was a chain smoker. This dude, when he would open his car, it looked like it had just left from volcanic ash. It looked like my beard on the floor of his car. It was just ash everywhere. He had a Mercedes with a Mercedes S-Class with subwoofers and sound that was phenomenal. You know, in the ghetto, you want the bass to be super loud, but James had it where that was loud. Everything was almost like an orchestra. So as you're listening to yacht rock, you are experiencing yacht rock.
I fucking love this man.
Yamo be there.
Somebody,
feels like God is singing in your ear.
Can somebody please channel the spirit of James Avery for this show? Like, he just sounds, man, he sounds like just a fucking boss, man.
Yeah. No, listen to this. It goes further. So everybody gets their trailer. James should have the best trailer, right? Because he just came from first. He should have the best trailer.
Of course.
James not only has the best trailer, James's trailer looks like some stuff that they tow behind yachts. You know how they got parking spots? It's like, okay, it's tandem, and then it's like you drive, and then it's tandem, and you drive. He took up 2 tandems and the driveway of where they put his trailer. It was long. And he went to Circuit City or Good Guys and bought, okay, this one is for the kids, another deep cut. At one time, we used to have our radios, our tape players, and our CD players all in one unit. Yeah. It was called a micro stereo system, and we loved it. And he went and got like an Iowa or something like that.
It was in the back.
Yeah. No, on top. It was on top.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're
or the drawer slid out.
I had a 6-disc that slid out. Dan, you remember that?
Yep.
And this dude loved music so much. This was before iPods. So you'd be out there, you'd hear Cannonball Adderley, you'd hear Nat King Cole,
it's got good taste.
Genuine.
Wow.
Hiroshima, Sade, Will Smith, of course, and some other cuts. And he'd be like, oh, he'd be like, I'm just making a mixtape, just something to roll with the coast with. That is some rich people shit, man. That is some rich people shit.
The more you talk about James Avery, the more I fucking love him.
You have to love him.
God.
But the dining car, he was like, Arif, get a steak with your pancakes. Don't just get pancakes. You can have pancakes anywhere. And like he was that kind of guy who say shit like that, like, you should try this.
I mean,
try the egg Benedicts. I don't want the egg Benedicts. They look weird. I don't want that.
It's crazy you say that. I just went out to dinner with my family for my mother-in-law's 75th birthday at a steakhouse.
Oh, congratulations!
Yes, it was a very exciting time. My mother-in-law wrote as a lovely woman. First of all, may I say that? But she looks at me and she goes, No, don't get a sirloin. Get a Wagyu.
Ooh.
Your wife is paying anyway, so just get it. And I was like,
and you're looking like, yeah, I know she's paying, which probably means it's coming out of our account.
So be it. So be it. It was a wonderful night. So be it. Her and her brother actually paid. It didn't come out of my pocket. I would have gladly helped.
Whoa.
But so my brother-in-law looks at me and he goes, I'm getting a tomahawk. You want to split it with me? And then my mother-in-law looks at me and says the same thing. And I'm like, I got my eyes on this A5 Australian Wagyu. I think I'm going to go with that. And they're like, yeah, good idea. Anyway, we were going to get the tomahawk for ourselves. And I started laughing. I'm like, yeah, well, you guys eat your steaks basically still alive. I need mine a little bit medium. That's just where I need it. It's perfect. But so it was my first experience with a steak of that caliber. And I got to tell you, like you're talking about the dining car, it's the experience. But
it's buttery soft, isn't it?
It's beautiful. it's like, you know, like your dream girl from when you were like 12, like
Yeah.
is the same age when you grow up, and she comes up to you and she's like, I want you, and you're like,
You mean
yes!
Apollonia came out of Lake Minnetonka?
Oh wow, that's a deep cut. Jesus. But it's like Amy Jo Johnson showed up with a steak and told me she was getting naked after the steak.
Here goes the thing. Amy Jo Johnson worked on Hull High.
Get the fuck out.
So it was Amy Jo Johnson, a guy from my high school, damn, I can't remember his name, and Carl Payne, Alan Payne, no, Carl Payne from the Cosby Show that ended up being on Martin.
Jesus, everybody's everywhere. So.
And that was Kenny Ortega's show that got me kicked out of high school because I lied about my age.
So, high school.
I'm a horrible man, but I needed to make that money. I needed that money.
I don't blame you. I mean, it's expensive to live in LA, man.
It is, especially at your mama's house.
It's not cheap. But so moving on, finishing the '90s, we had Trippin', Beverly Hood, Clayton, Nikita Blues, The Killing Yard, good movie. You were Little D in the Wash, great movie.
Oh man,
gotta see it stoned. I just want to make a quick note of this one before we move forward, because this is where stuff starts to really pick up for you. This is where video games start to come in, and your voice acting career just starts to take off. And we get to points where we obviously know you now, and chugging Saints Flow and seeing it in your sleep and running around like a maniac, singing Sublime with Troy Baker.
Yes.
Amazing. Like, just some of the best memory. And obviously our affiliation too beyond Ant1 is my time doing community launches with Saints Row, which was always fun. When we flipped the VTOL jet, that was a good time.
Man,
we were the first ones to do it too. We broke the fucking game on stream. Anyway, so The Wash, and working with just two wonderful human beings, two guys
no, three. You got to say all three when you say it.
All right.
You got to say DJ Pooh.
Okay, so Pooh.
Then
Dre,
you got to say
and
Snoop. Yes. Because none of us got to meet Eminem. He's famous. He's famous already.
Well, there's just looking at the back at the cast for this movie. It's you, it's Tick, Anthony Albano. You know, Lamont Bentley was in it.
Yes, God rest his soul.
Magic Don Juan, the GOAT himself.
I lived across the street from Bishop Don Juan for like 5 years, dude.
Tommy Chong, Angel Conwell,
Snoop,
you, Pooh. Man, this cast is
Alex Thomas. Yes.
Dude, some of the people in this movie just doing
Honest
anything.
John.
Yeah, Honest John. Yeah.
Probably one of the most underrated comedians of hip hop ever, dude. Ever. That dude is so underrated and probably one of the funniest, kindest people on planet Earth, man.
And there's just Pauly Shore's in there too, Alex Thomas.
Yes, Pauly Shore. And did we said Chong, right? We already said Chong was in there. Okay, cool.
Exhibit 2 rounding out that cast.
Ludacris.
Yep, Sheree Watson.
Yep.
George Wallace, as you said. Just top to
Iva
bottom.
LaShawn.
Yep,
Jesus.
Corrupt's in there too. One of the best underrated rappers of the '90s. Let me ask you. You're literally working with the entire Death Row crew here. What was it like?
Yes.
That's so cool.
Here goes the thing. I do believe everything had already transpired and the switch to Aftermath and everything had already began because of Slim, right?
Yeah.
So it was safe on set. So that was one thing. But we took over an area of Ventura that is usually reserved for Kardashians. And I say that honestly. I'm not saying any jokes. No joke. Like for real.
We can make fun of Kardashians on the show.
We were damn near where, like, you know, they would have filmed their first season. We were over in that kind of area. And we took over the car wash and the hotel next to it. Like they had a motel. And if you know anything about the motel, girl.
Motel.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But those were our trailers. I think that probably was the greatest thing of an experience, because it was like, you don't have to think about where you're going to be. There's already a parking lot, and the rooms are a good size. Snoop Dogg had a DJ on set that would play music in his dressing room, and he had soul food from somewhere every motherfucking day, man.
I've heard.
And no stunt weed. No stunt weed is the quote. So, it's the phrase that pays, and the quote from Snoop. I was like, so man, do you really be smoking? He's like, ain't no stunt weed on set, baby. Like, what?
Bro.
That's all you've been smoking is real weed?
So I'll tell you this right now, and this comes from two potheads from the East Coast. There's one thing we believe in, and when it comes to that, no stunts, but no stems, no steeds, no sticks.
Yes,
Just that
no
real
popping.
sticky, icky.
No popping inside of the papers. None of that popping in the papers.
And we're two guys that are, well,
Snoop and him caught me right as I stopped. I literally
come on, man.
in the early 90s I smoked beaties. That's how far back I go. I used to buy a pack of beaties and sell 3 for $1 at the club. And remember, beaties were only $1 a pack, so I'd have 3 packs, go home with gas money.
Now you got to pay $13 for a pack of Marlboro Reds. Who wants to?
Yeah,
do that?
and you don't realize that, there's fiberglass going into your lungs, and you're like, why am I coughing this green stuff? Finally gave that up. That was a quick learn. And then, of course, your regular cigarettes, but good weed. And then, like, my one buddy, I don't know how, he ended up selling weed when right out of high school. And this kid, like, he lived in like right around the corner from Sony, and his dad had a garage full of Behringer. So in true Tommy Chung, Cheech and Chong mode, we should put white Zinfandel in the bong. That's me one Saturday night. We went through almost 2 cases of
How drunk were you?
No, we put it in the bong with the weed. It was phenomenal.
That's just
phenomenal.
That's next level shit.
I'm not a bong guy. Okay, of the two of us, he's the bong guy. I'm the bowl guy.
Yeah,
So
yeah, man.
I've got this bowl that just that hits like you're about to get punched out by Tyson. So
Oh, man.
I just feel like if you doesn't the water vapor doesn't the water vapor mix with it? So like
when you mix an alcoholic beverage with it takes it to another notch.
yeah, I don't drink, so
It
we all know why I don't
was
do that.
very nice. It was nice and simple. It was nice, but that was a fun time for stuff like that.
Like
So
Zinfandel
that was
weed.
man. This is very classy.
So weed Zinfandel is what we're doing now.
White weed. We had white with a nice Chablis. a nice what do you say? A nice Cronbly. A Cronbly.
Crumbly.
This is Chateau Le Bleu from 1965 in this pub.
$700 bottle of wine.
Let the sommelier tell us. Well, we have a very nice Cabernet to go with your skunk weed tonight.
So tonight we will be serving an Indica Chronic OG with a Pinot Noir.
And now it's a big deal. Now you're looking like, Cannabis Club. They're going to have a Wagyu and brownies, and they're going to have shrimp with a nice Chablis. Like, we were doing that. We've been there. What are you talking about? We've been there. We've done that. We Dr. Dre up in here. What are you talking about? We was pouring that stuff over good old steaks from Stater Brothers. What are you talking about? We've been doing that. But nevertheless, so working with them was phenomenal. It was very nice. And similar to James Avery, Snoop is literally the uncle you need in your life.
I don't care what anybody says about him.
I think
love him.
he is the uncle you need in your life. He's the one that rolls through, puts 20 in your pocket and be like, shh, don't tell nobody. Always stay fly, baby. Always stay fly. And walk off. You know what I'm saying? Like your dad brings him over to getting your ass about messing up in school. Like, why'd you do that? Come on, cuz, don't get caught next time, okay? Here, get you some sneakers, baby. And he walks off. It's like he's the greatest uncle ever.
You make Snoop
the greatest
Dogg,
uncle.
You just added to the lore of Snoop Dogg. Like we're big fans of early Snoop.
Snoop is the man, dude. Dr. Dre is cool too.
Snoop.
Dre is cool too. Dre throws one of the best fight parties you could ever go to. He hires the greatest DJs to DJ in between the fights. And this was the last part of Tyson's career over in Malibu.
Damn.
Don from In Vogue is there and some other people. I was just sitting there like, I'm eating soul food, listening to a DJ and watching it on this huge screen in Malibu, looking out at the beach. Ain't this about a bitch? This is some rich people shit. Y'all all got money.
I love it. I feel like those are two of the most down to earth guys in Hollywood too. Like everything.
And DJ Pooh, you see at the movie theater. I used to see DJ. My wife and I would see DJ Pooh at the movie theater all the time. Be like, why? And you're stupid because you start thinking, well, why are you here? why are you here? You're here to see a movie, right? Why are you wondering why he's here to see a movie?
You know, it's
Like
not like
you-
he's not rich enough that he couldn't have this in his house in 10 minutes if he really wanted it. But
yeah,
no,
but none of us like bootleggers because you guys heard the story about John Singleton, right?
No, but do
You
tell.
never heard the folklore? Oh, John Singleton goes to the Slauson swap meet one day. Popularized place. Before sneaker culture
Wait, let me
caught
get
on
a
the way that
snack.
it should, you would have tennis shoes wrapped in plastic at most swap meets around the nation. But LA being LA, we always had fly shit all the time. So Jordans that you couldn't find anymore, things of the sort. Get you a nice crisp white tee. Maybe buy you a chain for the night. Whatever. Slauson swap meet has its folklore. As he's walking in, to his left, he gets tapped. Huh? This motherfucker's selling your movie, Jay. Hey, I know you're not selling Baby Boy. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? And I mean, it's a blow up session. When the first camera phones or something's coming out, or people finally got their little video cameras with them, probably 1 megapixel, 1.2. Oh, it's digital zoom. So they catch it on camera and they talk about it all through the news, and it brings up the idea of like, you can't freaking bootleg certain people's movies. It's like, it would be like me bootlegging your grandmother's pie, selling it on her front lawn.
How do you bootleg grandma's pie? You don't know the
But
secret
no,
ingredient.
I
of
take
mango
her,
shit.
I take her apples off her tree and cook it in my oven and sell it on her lawn.
Yeah.
It was the same idea. It's like, yo, I'm from LA. I made an LA movie. I filmed in LA. I hired people.
Baby Boy was good.
Why
In
would
LA.
you do this? Why would you do this? And it was just fascinating, man. And like, he really sent waves through the industry from the standpoint of like, okay, people might want to think about it.
Yeah, he's right.
Or you may want to go somewhere else. Like, bootleg is going to always go on. It's always going to go on. I was listening to DJ Drama talk about it. Some people look at it like, oh, you're helping my brand. But when there's that many millions on the line, and I'm the guy that came out of USC and got nominated for an Oscar, I'm a local boy. That you know how do you say local boy done good? I'm a local boy that's done good, and I didn't forget my fan base. Come on now. And it's like, damn, that was some wild, that was the wildest shit ever, dude. And great stuff. But Snoop, Dre, DJ Pooh, famously for Friday, and the Boondocks, and GTA San Andreas. Let's keep it all video games.
Great game.
He's responsible for all that. And now the freaking contract on woo! Probably one of the best video game soundtracks compared to anybody.
Wait, which game?
Freaking GTA Online, the Dr. Dre, the Dr. Dre thing.
Oh yeah.
That soundtrack
Yeah.
is just like it's chills in your bones. Good. It's like,
Dan,
oh,
you need to get PlayStation Plus so you can play GTA Online with me. It's fucking amazing. Dre
man.
is an NPC in it. It's unbelievable.
It's freaking
So-
crazy. Him and Slink Johnson.
Yes.
They're all in it.
Yes.
And of course, also from the Wash, God dang it, the lead guy, the black guy of them, he is Pooh's homeboy, where he's like, remember when DJ Pooh said, "Ain't nobody called your name. Who you think you is? Destiny Child, Solo."
Solo.
Yeah.
That's
Solo, 118. I can't remember his name. Sean something. He's freaking a
I'm
good
looking
guy,
it up
man.
now. I'm looking
Yeah,
at
he-
it now too.
Sean Florentino, something like that.
Oh, man.
But he's a great freaking dude. I mean, all these rap legends really are just great dudes, because it's like, if you finally make it out from what you were going through, and you got you a crib and a couple of wheels and money in the bank, everything else don't really matter. You still want to do great things. You still want to go and blossom, but that edge, it's not lost, but it's like, I don't got to put it on no more. I finally,
you've become.
I'm comfortable.
You're happy.
I'm gonna always pay attention. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, yo, like, oh, you got soft now that you're running the casino, Bobby. We're gonna stab you with the spoon. It's like he had a great life, aside from his wife trying to.
Yeah.
take the money. Everything was
Absolutely.
great.
So from the wash, you went on more
Mhm.
more stuff, more shows, more TV, and then we get to 2004, and we'll get there in a second. So in
Mhm.
between the wash and Tony Hawk's Underground 2, Tony Hawk's Underground 2 being one of my favorite games, one of Small's favorite games, because you actually get to go to Boston in that game, and it looks nothing like Boston.
Thank you, Activision. Thank you for your
Yeah,
research.
dickheads. Fuck Bobby Kotick. You could have hired me. So you were MC Groove in For Your Love. You were on Doggy Fizzle Televizzle. Amazing.
Oh man,
Cousin
yes.
Tito. You were Marcus in the trailer.
Mhm.
Runaways. You were also a character named Marcus. And
Mhm.
then right after How High, Meth and Red Show. You were Downtown Clowny Brown.
Man.
But let's talk about this one role. This is a big one because this is where James Avery's influence pays off. Tony Hawk's Underground 2, a game that Dan and I played, or Dan watched me play in my room while my girlfriend sat on my bed and told me she wanted to go out to dinner for hours on end as I sat in my inflatable
I'm trying
chair.
to complete this level. Calm it down.
Exactly.
I'm trying to finish.
So, because we got a lot more to talk about still.
Yeah.
And yes, guys, we're going late tonight. Why the fuck not? We're having fun. So I want to talk about this because I want to get to 2006, and I want to talk.
Okay.
I want to talk about the role that got us to where we're sitting, or one of the roles that got us into the next role that got us to where we are today.
Mm-hmm.
And that being Saints Row, because Saints Row is always huge piece to your career, man. And I mean, not a bad thing. Like, it's a piece of la resistance.
It's the Fresh Prince, man. It's the Family Matters for Jaleel White. It's when you get something that's good and it's loved, you don't get mad.
And you can really sink your teeth into it. And you know,
heck yeah.
And I mean, we can talk about a lot of people from Volition. Our good friend, rest in peace, Mike Watson, who a lot of love for Pierce in his mods and his work.
Mike Watson did a lot for my career, and I'll explain that as we go on with this. But
absolutely,
yeah, a lot of great people. You know, of course, Steve, his brain trust, his brain trust put this all together, and then his partner Drew, man. Those guys went, and you know, Drew went on to doing BioShock Infinite. It's like, guys are just wonder kids, dude.
I met Drew at a party randomly enough.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about this being a small role. There was also another role. 2004, you were the Desert of the Flames in EverQuest.
Yeah.
But also you were male voice 2 in Tony Hawk. How did these roles, two really prominent franchises, how did these roles come about?
Number one with EverQuest, it was probably the worst session I've ever had. Not negatively on anybody else, but it was really, I need you to be louder. And when you're first starting off, you don't realize that you can do a lot with your voice without hurting yourself. You saw a lot of people during the video game renegotiation contract talking about safety. So you're doing blood-curdling screaming, and the only way you have to utilize is either Matt Damon when Johnny died, so you scream like that, with your heart taken out from The Outsiders. That's a deep cut for those that remember.
God,
Johnny!
We're so more canonical and deep than whatchamacallit right now. Our level of canon, well, first established by Esoteric, we are canon now.
Yes.
Is so much deeper than Rick and Morty will ever get. We've had more deep cuts than 6 seasons of Rick and Morty in this one episode.
Very true.
So you're screaming like that, or you're screaming literally like you're Jamie Lee. What's her name from Psycho? Wasn't it Jamie Lee's mom?
Janet Leigh.
Yeah,
Janet Leigh. So you're screaming with everything. All right, let's do it again. God dang it, dude! Did you not tape it? Are you not recording? So you know that kind of blew me out, but that was very fun because I knew about it. And I had auditioned so many times, and I'd been to their offices and seen all the artwork. And this is when video games, everything started to shift. It really did, because you were already on PlayStation 2. You were enjoying that, and then, you know, of course, GameCube and all that stuff had already been around. So you knew something was coming. Something was switching around. People were talking. Things were getting better. And then Tony Hawk, man, we went over to Santa Monica to Activision's offices, and we did that, and it was just fascinating. It was just like, cool. I know him. He skates. I think that's the other thing. you're now recognizing the names that are being used for games. These are pop culture people. You know who they are. Tony Hawk is a goat. He's a freaking goat, dude. It is what it is. And he's just freaking fascinating. And you're like, okay, cool. And you do this, and then the game comes out, and people tell you like, hey man, I heard you in the game. You're like, what are you talking about? Because I hadn't began purchasing games yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I had some stuff, but I hadn't began purchasing. I still had my PlayStation 1 that Miguel gave me. That I literally went to his house. Like you remember another deep cut. $2. I went to his house like that. It was like
Get your
you said
plumbuses, people. We're getting deep cut.
you said you were going to give me this for my birthday. I just showed up at his house randomly one night. He unplugged it from the TV and gave it to me. I went home with Ridge Racer. Here goes another deep cut. You youngins will never understand the joy of finding out you could take the game out of your PlayStation Classic and put in an actual CD and just listen to your own music while you're racing around in the game. That was futuristic.
Yeah. Monster Hunter had an algorithm where it read your disc and like you could put in anything. Also, if you played certain Metal Gear games, it would tell you what Konami games were on your memory card. Yeah,
it's just crazy. It's like these were weird, funny glitches that they felt were necessary and cool. I still don't know what the damn networking cable is for on the back of a PlayStation 2. Does anybody understand what it is? It's like a BBS board or something.
There was an online adapter that you could buy towards the end of life.
Yeah, but what could you do? Could you go on MapQuest? I mean, what could you do with it? Could you play?
Honestly,
imagine you probably could, but nobody knows. Everybody's like, I don't know.
You know, I'll give you a deep cut. I remember when we were in college and I got my first Xbox. Dan was with me. We went and bought what was it?
Ooh, the Duke. You had the Duke.
Yeah,
the Duke controller.
We went and bought an Xbox, right? Remember? And we got Raw 2.
Ooh, I bought the Xbox.
No, well, I bought one too, if you remember.
Yeah,
and we were both like, "Oh, these graphics are so good." And then we're like, "We don't need to go online. Online gaming's never going to catch on." And here we are, like assholes. Here we are now, assholes, with my PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and yeah.
Dude, let's just be very clear. The Xbox, not Xbox One, none of that. The Xbox probably the best made video game machine next to Neo Geo.
Oh no.
Or the
Panasonic. That's
the
right
Panasonic
there,
880s. Well, yeah, that's a PC. But what I'm saying is, you remember what was it? The Panasonic.
I don't agree with 3DO. The best console that ever came out in my eyes, personally, was the Sega Dreamcast.
Samurai Showdown.
Yeah, I could play that in the arcade, but I couldn't.
Yeah,
I could play Crazy Taxi at home.
It played way better. Yeah, Crazy Taxi. Yeah, I give you that. Yeah, Crazy Taxi. So then PlayStation 2. It is what it is. It is what it is. The huge one. The huge one. The Slim was great because it didn't take up a lot of space, but the huge one was where it's at, and I think that's why it still lives. And of course, Xbox 360. Those are the ones that will always. They will fight.
Console of all time.
They will fight forever. I got two. I had an Elite, and yes, I did get the rings, baby. Oh, yeah, I got the rings.
You know what's funny? You look back at it all these years before we wrap up on Tony Hawk and EverQuest here. You look back at it all these years, and all the fuck you had to do was go to Micro Center, get yourself some fucking thermal paste, and reattach the stupid thing.
Nobody knew. We didn't have Discord. Our YouTube wasn't great yet to where you could just look it up.
Yeah,
and
but
just say
you just didn't. If I knew that, I would have saved myself so much money because I built that. As we call this is Tankosaurus. I built Tankosaurus.
Yeah.
And it like every year I'm going to put a new water cooler in it hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But you have to replace your thermal paste unless you use EVGA's Frost. Frost lasts 5-6 years.
Damn.
So and it's one of those things. Except for Dan, we've all built computers just out of pure boredom. Dan enjoys his console games, as do I, but there's
it's something about PC. I think once Game Pass came to PC, it kind of leveled me out.
Yeah,
it was like putting a sticker. It was like putting the patch on a smoker. Like, oh, that's what air smells like. Okay, that's what air smells like.
I agree with that statement. Now, Moving on from EverQuest, there's Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga 2.
Man,
Juiced.
that was a hard job. That was with one of my longtime collaborators, Mr. Keith.
And you weren't credited on that game. And then there was one.
It's all right. It was a non-union Saturday. We don't talk about those, but it still was great.
Then you were Rob Thorough in one more round.
Yes.
Jerome Williams in Juiced. Juiced was a fun game, may I add. Dan, we played Juiced.
That was a fun game, and I thought it was going to blow up because I was like, this dialogue sounds.
All of a sudden, Need for Speed came out with the Underground series right around that time.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to let Dan talk about this next one because this is a Dan show. And this is a show he introduced me to in college one random night when playing Manhunt at his house before going to the bar. I'll never forget this night, actually.
Manhunt.
Dan's going to shit when I rattle this off. He's going to be like, "How after chemo and everything, how do you remember this?" It was a Friday night or Thursday night. We went to Shaboom's. I took a 15-minute power nap on your couch. We played Manhunt on fucking on PlayStation 2, and we watched Family Guy, and this gentleman was in one of the episodes we watched. Fast Times at Buddy Ciance High. Arif was Carlos to Lando.
Brother, let me tell you, that was probably the greatest thing to work on and the wildest. I was like, you want me to do the Latin dude? I thought I was doing the other guy. Because as you see, the classroom had almost every race was represented, but they liked my take on it. So I was like, all right, in 2022, I would be rang up a flagpole for that.
You know what's really funny?
We have officially taken that off of my demo reel at SBV.
when we had Carlos on, you're friends with Carlos Ferro too.
Yeah.
We talked about Carlos's time on the Cleveland show and how he was in a commercial for what's her name? The Consuela. We need more lemon pledge, and he was the narrator in that lemon pledge commercial for no. But it was a good one. Now, Dan, I know you want to talk about Family Guy, so here.
Talk about it.
Oh, well, I mean, how does it feel to even be immortalized, considering the fact that, like, any time of day you can pretty much put on TBS or the Cartoon Net or pretty much anything, any network possible with syndication and all that stuff, and then occasionally you could just be like, almost every day, an episode that you're on is probably like playing.
It's one of the greatest feelings on the planet. Let's go back to Alex Thomas from The Wash. He went and did an ADR session for them. Alex Thomas has been on at least half of every episode filmed. So when I get my check for my one, and I realize I missed an ADR session for Family Guy because I was already working on NBA The Show 07 down in San Diego, trying to get it was a fast buck, but a well acted game, right? Very well acted. But for all the money that I made on that, it was under the table. It was horrible to do because I missed out on, the possibility of being like a rogues gallery for Family Guy. And I was so pissed. But then I got to audition for the Cleveland show, the initial run. And brother, let me tell you, the foot and mouth disease is true. I thought Cleveland was his black neighbor in real life. And that's all I was telling everybody. I told Reno Wilson. Reno will attest to this from Mike and Molly. I was like, yeah, supposed to be his neighbor that he grew up with. Nice guy, just had a great voice. He's a black guy. I told the guy that got Cleveland, I said, yeah, man.
Mike Henry.
No, the guy that got that got Cleveland Jr. that plays his son. Very famous voiceover actor. Yeah.
Oh, daddy, you're so hilarious.
Oh, daddy. But
Oreos, damn.
I was talking with him and I was like, yeah, this black dude supposed to be real cool. Grew up, it's right next door to him, man. He hired him, cool neighbor. Then I go in the room, and he's not black. I was like,
Oh God!
I've been in the lobby. I just told Michael Jai White you were black.
If cancel culture had a time machine.
No, it was just like, why are you talking? Just shut up. Because I would talk when I was nervous, or like trying to get ready for something. You just try to stay chatty, so I don't let the nerves go there. I was like, this was the time I was supposed to shut up. And like it ruined my audition because I was like, you're not black. They told me you were black.
And you're just sitting
I
there
worked
going
with you.
through.
No, cause in my head I was like, 'cause remember the guy that does Cleveland, and now he's not, but he now actually the other Arif has him now from YouTube culture.
Yeah.
The only other one that I've met in my life. I don't even know if we can be in the same room. There might be a singularity. I don't know. But he's an amazing actor. But he was also the VO director. So I was like, I worked with you on the episode where I played Juan. This is amazing. So you're not black? Are you sure you're not Creole? So I ruined it. So that's how come I didn't get to be on the Cleveland show.
So,
but it's all right. I'll take it.
let me deep cut into that and ask you an honest question. When you found out Mike C. Henry was voicing Cleveland, now mind you, Mike is a white guy.
Mike is amazing, great guy.
So it doesn't bother you seeing someone of a background of, well, let's just call it what it is.
No.
Okay.
No. Here goes the thing. I think if you're not making fun of a culture with your character, it's all fair biz. I am every white quarterback in Remember the Titans. Literally. Every time you heard Blue Omaha, 52 Blue, 50 Blue vote. That's me. Ain't nobody chasing behind my car like, hey, you're culturally appropriating our stuff. No, I just remembered every Dallas episode I saw and I channeled it. And they said I was the best in the room. Because there was a Latin guy, a black guy, a white guy, some other guys. Everybody was in the room. Arif's voice sounds a little bit like it'll bleed through and seems the safest.
Right.
And I got hired because I was good.
That's a good take. I just
you know what I'm saying?
I know for a long time, and I can understand with Apu why people were upset.
Yeah.
About
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I respect the decision to retire that character as good as some of his episodes, like the character episodes were, where we learned life lessons with Apu about
it was funny
coming to America and so forth like that. A lot of people were really
hurt and offended. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dan, but they were funny. And that's the thing about comedy. Sometimes the worst thing is funny until you're educated on it. Then you change up a little bit and you're like, oh, okay. I'm sorry I laughed. It's like the kid that falls down the stairs at your school. Then you find out that he actually has a little bit of a headache. Hi! Hi, Miss Billy.
Rebecca says hello.
Hi, Rebecca. How you doing? Who doesn't want to go to bed?
She always wants to go to bed. Maggie wanted to stop by the show, so
look at you.
She always stops by.
Hey, buddy. How you doing, Maggie? Ooh. You got a treat? What kind of treat is that?
Say hi to Arif.
Maggie.
Hey. Hello, Maggie. Maganu. Do you want to have headphones? You want the headphones, don't you? You want to bark some stuff?
You're making new friends. So do you want to ask the next question? So do you want to ask the next question?
You should let her. Yeah.
I love doggies.
Here. Say something.
Say something.
She's sniffing the mic. So Maggie wants to know. So moving on from Family Guy, there were a lot of fun game. It looks like a lot of fun stuff. There was Neopets.
Yeah.
The Suffering was a fun game. I remember that.
Man, okay. You remember who actually got the lead of that, right?
I don't.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yes, now I remember.
I voiced the whole game as a template. I voiced the whole thing to hold it for temp, and then they gave the role to him. So it was cool. 'Cause Michael was literally a giant of a man, a very kind man. God bless his soul, man. Seriously, I met him doing Sparks. Like if you really look through the guest star list of Sparks, you'll see. Okay, let's just talk about Terrence Howard. Damn it, when it got nominated for hard out here for a pimp. Robin Givens, lifelong friend, beautiful lady, gorgeous mind, soul, spirit giving. Kim Whitley, who's everywhere, just got a brand new podcast over there on Audible. She's in everything. And of course, like I said, Miguel, who don't stop working, and James, of course. But it was a great thing. But all the guest stars, UPN probably had the greatest rogues gallery of guest appearances. Because you got to remember, we got Star Trek, and then you have all these young kind of hip hoppy shows with actors that people know and they like. So it was just a great time, man. A lot of VO came through there too.
Yeah.
WB produced a lot of people that came out that did a lot of voiceover right after.
UPN also was always being made fun of in like cartoons and stuff like that.
Oh,
which was
yeah.
always funny. Like what Clerks, the Clerks the animated series is a perfect example. They were always referencing it with what was that show that Dante and Randall used to watch, Dan? The one that was on America's favorite, UPN.
Yeah, it was the show about. It was the show about. No, I think it was only on for a couple of episodes. But it was. I think it was the Black Butler for Lincoln.
Oh no! Okay, so that show. Let's go. Okay, that show. The black guy, African American, very proud civil rights person, understands why that show was wrong.
Right.
But the creative writer in me understands why that show was great. He was the butler for Lincoln that literally was the dude that gave Lincoln all his information. Like imagine if Lincoln, you remember Benson? He was Benson during slavery.
How about now, Benson?
It was basically Benson.
You're right.
During slavery. And everybody loved Robert Guillaume. You thinking, oh, he's the butler. Oh, he's just the guy that works for the governor. He's the guy calling the shots because he's bright, he's educated, he's just never been given the chance.
Right.
And that's what that show was.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is kind of hard to pitch it with somebody hanging in the background. I don't know. That's a marketing issue. That's a dumb. I think the show probably could have made it if that never was shown.
Probably not.
It probably could have made it through a season if that wasn't the first imagery. And you got to think about it. So you got Moesha, you have Sparks, you have a one-on-one with Flex Alexander, you have the offshoot, the Parkers, you have all these black shows that are doing well that in certain moments, you know, the jovialness of comedy always does go to buffoonery. It's not just a black thing. Woody Harrelson's character was the dumbest dude, dumb as a doornail, but was freaking lovable and phenomenal as Woody. He's freaking phenomenal on Cheers. He was phenomenal.
Oh, so he was amazing. But you look at characters throughout time; it's always that way. Like Bart and How High, the classic privileged white douchebag.
Yeah. And even Bart Simpson, and even the violence of the Simpsons, but it's all out of love. If you know how to look at a story, like this is just family. Is it like, is it right to choke your child? No, but it's the thought process visualized on screen just for you to see it real quick to put you back in order. This is not happening in real life. It's animated, guys.
Yeah, and Matt Groening is brilliant with that stuff.
Yeah,
nobody sees it that way. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's people get serious, but that show, it probably could have made it, but I don't think it was right. I think if it was on IFC, because you got to think about it. We just had the good Lord Bird, and that was a freaking phenomenal show.
Yeah, if
that was phenomenal.
IFC, probably would have made it because I mean, they just did that one with Hank Azaria, the one where he was the baseball announcer. That was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've done some if it was on a different network and maybe
Desmond Pfeiffer.
Yes, Desmond Pfeiffer.
There we go. That's what it was. Classic Pfeiffer.
Thank you, Desmond Pfeiffer.
Fuck.
Like it could have made it, but see, the reason we got taken off the air was because my boss had old beef from NBC. It's the classic. You kicked down somebody who was below you, and now they're above you.
No, and they're a jackass about it.
Dean Valentine, like if you really look up his history, he self-destructed. It's like he literally became Thanos. It's like every time he got a new ring, he was like, I'm going to destroy it all. And it was like, all you got to do is just play your position and be good at what you're doing. You finally made it. Why are you still mad at everybody? Because I'm Carrie. I'm Carrie. My dress is stained red. It's like, dude, calm down.
Good reference.
He got rid of everybody. He got rid of us to put the love vote on.
Oh my God.
Not even a good love vote. Like he just, it was like his friends from drama class had a Super 8 and said, give us a deal. Yeah, anything to get rid of Edward.
Oh, shit.
Because we had ratings and advertising dollars flowing through.
Jesus Christ.
Like anything that had to do with Ed, he was like, screw him. Screw him. But during the 80s, people used to cuss you out and kick you out of rooms all the time. That's how it was. It was all jeans and blazers and kicking people out of rooms.
Oh my God. All right, guys, we're going to hold at this point, take a fast break. We're going longer tonight, it seems, because the stories are just flowing. Arif S. Kinchen's with us. Everybody get up, stretch, get a drink, take a pee break, take a poo break, do what you got to do. It's the Brand Show. We will be back in 5.
And pet the dog. Yes, man.
But Kevin McHale was the original bad man.
Kevin McHale will sock you and make you feel it 3 years later.
All right. All right, guys, we got a little bit of time left. Let's get through this because everybody here on the East Coast, it's late. But, you know, for you, it's what? 7:30?
7:30.
Lucky you jackass.
Hey, man,
Anyway,
you filthy animal.
Let's get back into this. Few things to talk about, and then we're getting to the heavy hitters here.
Mhm.
So let's go back into video games and into shows here for a second. So Downhill Jam came along, Saints Row, smaller roles, and then Dan, there was a game I know you like where you woke up this morning and got yourself a gun. So why don't you chat a little bit about it?
Oh, you're muted.
You got to unmute yourself first. Hold on. I'll give him something for this. Hold on.
Hold on. What happened? Who broke the dam?
Produced by Larry David. Dan, unmute your mic. Oh, we lost Dan.
Oh, no. There you go.
Wait, is that Dan?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. Now we can hear you.
How did it feel to be a part of the Sopranos, like the universe, even the game? It was kind of repetitive as far as gameplay was concerned, but I did enjoy the.
But guess what?
I did enjoy it.
We thought that the game was going to do so much better, but just to be affiliated, just to have your name alongside that cover of a video game, it's a big deal. It's a big freaking deal. And like it was like, you know, that was the wild west of the early 2000s of like, hey, can you sound like you're Jamaican? Yeah, I've had jerk chicken before. Yeah, why not? Yeah. I'm an improv artist. I say yes and so it was cool, and I hope I didn't offend anybody. I heard I didn't offend anybody, so I feel like it was a win-win.
Well, I'm the Italian guy in the room, and you didn't offend me, so
thank you.
You're one of us.
Yeah, you know, I had a lot of fun just trying to knock it down and do something good. But I mean, it's those kind of projects, that and what's the one with Michael Chiklis that I did?
The Shield?
Yeah, The Shield. It's like whenever you hear those titles, you're like, oh my God, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
You think it's going to blow up, but then, you know, other things blow up. But it's you put the work in, and it was very, very fun.
But all of this led to a Dean College Adams Hall first floor favorite.
Yes.
Okay, two of my favorite episodes. You were Paul Wall and Little John in Celebrity Deathmatch. Now,
holla at me, baby. Yeah.
Was it, now, when you were Paul Wall, it was the episode where you started throwing grills at. That's the episode, right?
Gangster grills.
Yes.
Throwing the grills. Paul Wall, baby.
My favorite episode of Celebrity Deathmatch, thanks to Dan, I've been able to rediscover.
Oh my God!
And I just remember you were just like, you kept going grill. Okay,
that's some fun times filming that. Recording that. The guys that play your main host are KFI radio announcers, like news radio guys. The guys that are there doing like, hey, well, I seen them doing this. They really have important jobs. I was like, oh my God, there's so many layers to voiceover. Like I was like, wait a minute.
So cool.
The guy was like, hey, I got to leave. I got to get over to the station. I got to do the drive.
I
was like, what the hell?
I forget who they were, but I remember in one.
But fascinating, just very fascinating guys. Very, very learned, like way above what you think when you think, you know, Celebrity Deathmatch. So it was good.
No, but what was fun about it too was I forget who the little bald dude with the mustache was.
Oh yeah,
and that same
and we go in.
And that same episode, he was getting bribed because his computer got hacked, which was it's a memorable episode. I mean, don't get me wrong, the ones with Stone Cold were great.
Very, very fun. And it's historic. It's historic. So you'll never take it from me.
Hilarious. Moving on, after that, we went back to Juice 2 Hot Import Nights. Not gonna lie, that was the sequels never do as well.
It was a gig, man.
No, I get it. There was also Mercenaries 2 World in Flames,
yes.
which was fun, but we're getting to the we're at that part of the show where it's Sesame Street and Bert finally gets to the moon rock exhibit and Ernie gets to see the dinosaurs like when Sesame Street goes to the museum, the book. This is where it really, if you ask my opinion, this was the rocket, the spaceship loaded with the rocket fuel, loaded with Kinchen's warriors. This is where it really hit. Saints Row 2.
Yes.
One of the greatest nightmares in the history of video games. Like, what a glitchy mess. I love you, Jim Boone. If you're watching this show, Steve Jaros, I love you. I love all of you. I love the entire Dirty Pirate cast at Volition. I love everybody who worked on this game. Clint Arasso, Aubrey Norris, all of them. And Saints Row 2, man, what a game. And I mean, we're live from the crack house in Steelport tonight, so
since the days of this, the 360. That's right, when it came in. This is when it went down.
Yeah, 2008. So talk about it. This was
with chat pads.
Oh my! What? Is that a Console Kings plate too?
Yeah, it's from Console Kings. Yeah. Bro.
I remember when they followed me on Twitter back when I actually cared about Twitter.
Yeah.
When game industry Twitter was the place to be.
Heck yeah.
In 2008, and they followed me on Twitter because I was working for Ross Furman.
Yep.
And I remember being like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest day of my life!" Because Hip Hop Gamer introduced me to them at PAX East one year, and I was like, "Wow, did I make it or something?"
Those guys are actually very good. They're very cool.
They're cool as hell.
Good friends of mine, CJ and Donald and the whole team. They're very good. Very, very, very good. Very good. Yeah. But Saints Row, Douglas Kerrigan. I took a voiceover mentorship class with him, and he is the signatory and was the former voice director of the game, and then Keith took over. But he got us in there, man, and he said something to them. I auditioned, of course, but he said something to them, and they just kept bringing me back. Like, you go in, you do your one day, you're like, okay, I'm done. Hey, can we get you back? Okay. Hey, can you come in next week? Okay. Can you go back? I was like, this seems serious. Okay, cool. And then the game comes out, it blows up, everybody's loving it.
One of the most popular games of all time.
And then I find out that Pierce matters. And that's when I was like, oh.
Pierce became so, and we're going to get to 3. Just guys, to let you know, we got about 25 minutes left in the show. We went long tonight because Arif is just so many stories that have been needing to be told. This interview has been like literally 15 years in the making. Just that's how long we've known each other. But yeah, Pierce was huge, and Pierce only just became bigger as we went along. Now, in between, there was a couple of things. There was Talk Show with Spike Fierstein. You were the delivery man. There was more. There was more in between stuff. So you went back to work for Volition with Red Faction Guerrilla, another great game.
Very fun.
Also in Spider-Man, Web of Shadows. Raul, if you're watching, you still have my copy, you jackass.
Give it back.
Yeah, give it back. That's like a $200. It's a $200 fucking game now.
Oh my.
Yeah. So there's that, and Prototype. Prototype, another fantastic title.
Man, dude, I'm in the game.
Cuts.
I have no idea what I played in the game. I just know there was an agent that would talk with him. That's the role that I auditioned for numerous times, and I didn't get it. And sometimes, like I said, with all the code names, you didn't know what the hell you were working on. So then you find out later, you look at your IMDb and you're like, what? And then you get a check and you're like, oh, that's what that game was. Okay. Ain't that about a bitch? I wish I would have knew it then. I could have enjoyed it. And I think that's the one kind of horror play for any voice actor that's doing, like if you're on a animated TV show, once it launches, you can talk about that you're on the show. Once they announce season 2, we're going to do some amazing things season 2. But video games, man, you're literally sitting there at parties like, yeah, and then the trailer comes on for something, you're like, because you've been warned. You have been told, like Marvel is now famous for. There is a red dot, and there are guys that will jump out of an Apache helicopter It will bound and gag you and carry you off to whatever video game company you're working with.
Guantanamo Bay style.
Yeah.
Why do I honestly believe Marvel would do something like that?
Man, I think Marvel would steal the thing from Sony and be like, bloop, and you would have your memory wiped. You'd be
Men
like,
in Black style.
wait a minute.
Hey
Who am I?
guys, why am I in this Spider-Man helmet?
What are you? I like it. I'm here.
By the way, best figure of all time. Fight me.
Oh my God.
Ned Lee's rules.
Hip hop. Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens with Ned. Every single one of his friends ends up being a bad guy.
He's going to be the Hobgoblin. You watch.
Oh man, I hope
who
not.
Ned Lee's was in the Spider-Man. He was one of the Hobgoblins.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I hope not.
let's get between here. Motorstorm Apocalypse. Great Sony
Fun
title.
game. Fun game. 3 characters.
You were in Symbiotic Titan. You were Booty Jeans.
Okay, let's talk about the fact that Gendy wrote that song.
That's ridiculous.
The director of Powerpuff Girls and Samurai Jack, he wrote the lyrics, and his homeboy that produced for like metal and super rock and roll bands with one of the sickest studios in Hollywood Hills I've ever seen. Like, I couldn't remember how to get there if I tried.
Was it Rick Rubin's place?
No, that's Shangri-La. I wish I could go to Shangri-La. I would just sit there and just watch. I would just use prayer beads and just talk to Rick all day and just sit there and let my feet swing back and forth off a stool that makes me look like a little kid. And be like, come on, play Hold It Now, hit it for me. Come on, play Hold It Now, hit it. Come on. But like we recorded that, and then they were like, oh, it sounds good. I said, can I add some stuff to it? And then we did. And like the whole time I was listening to it, they were like, yeah, we were thinking this. And I said, this is ludicrous. And I really just channeled Luda. I was like, yep, this is a ludicrous song. And it was fun.
Amazing. That
Yep.
and it's the greatest name ever. By the way, I'm putting you in my phone as that. So from there, bunch of in between stuff. Let's play together. Syndicate, Anarchy Reigns, Christmas
Yes.
in Compton.
Woo! Keith David and I on screen.
And
What?
First time before Keith David became the motherfucking president. Okay. And then there was second generation weigh-ins.
Had a voice on there.
And I remember you telling me this. You were like, "Yeah, I'm going to be in this game," and I remember telling you, "Be careful," because I remember 3 months before it came out, I ran into you at PAX. Because you were there for this game.
No, it wasn't at PAX. We had to be somewhere else. 'Cause I've never been to PAX. I wish I could go.
But
was it E3? Was it finally in E3?
no, it wasn't. I
Was it-
still
was it-
haven't been to E3. It must have been.
Was it Comic Con, WonderCon?
It might have been a Comic-Con. It might have been a Comic-Con.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I remember
yeah.
walking
That
out of
sounds
the booth
better.
and being like, "This looks awesome," but something's not right here because it's Gearbox, and I was still on
Bro,
the fence after.
do you know how bad that hurts? I think
Aliens,
Kyrie
Colonial Marines fan.
Kyrie
yeah.
Payton was in there. Travis Willingblam.
Kyrie Payton,
all
Travis
freaking
Willingham,
all-star
Troy
cast,
Barker.
bro.
Yeah.
Everybody. That's everybody. And that game flopped.
You want to talk about a rebound, though? Like, we're not going to spend but 10 seconds on Aliens, Colonial Marines because Randy Pitchford doesn't deserve my time. Let's talk about, and I said it when I owned Structure Gaming. This is probably my definitive review besides when I reviewed Saints Row 4, when I talked about going from the crack house to the penthouse. I talked about this game, and I feel this game in my heart. Dan and I had a beautiful conversation about this game the other night. Let's talk about BioShock Infinite. The greatest BioShock game of all time. The beautiful creation of Quincy, Massachusetts' own Ken Levine. The literal, and I've been saying this for almost, because this game will be 10 years old in April.
Is that it?
I called it the swan song of a generation. I called it the best game to be released on the Xbox and PlayStation non-exclusive.
How did Last of Us get out first and have a TV show before this? BioShock is phenomenal. It's
I
scary.
do not know, but I was telling Dan about it the other day because I offered to buy him a copy. And Dan's not big into first-person shooters for certain reasons.
Just
We'll
wait,
talk
Dan.
offline.
Just wait. You gotta get it on Steam. You'll love it to death.
I will.
at all?
Dan, next time you're at the house, I'll play it, and you can just watch. But what a story! And I did buy it for Smalls too. He's still yet to play it, but
Come on,
it's
Smalls, you're killing me,
listen,
Smalls.
Smalls also, Arif, we're gonna have you back because Smalls does not know movies. I will tell
He
you
doesn't.
that story,
Terrible.
and we'll talk about that
Goddamn
offline. But
terrible.
we'll pull him in after the episode on the Zoom call and chat for a couple minutes. But you were in BioShock. Now, you told us off air. Tell him again where you were.
The
You were-
Vox Populi.
Yeah,
we
you
were
were-
part of the revolutionary force that works with Kimberly Brooks' character in there.
Yeah.
It was a black revolutionary that you would hear come through on the radio.
Yeah.
She was the badass woman
The
that
Vox
could
Populi was
that
awesome
she
too.
could handle anything. And the Vox Populi actually, they explained it to us like they said. You remember the porters, like the porters strike that happened for the railways and everything like that.
That's
That's
exactly
who
what
you
they
guys
were.
are. You guys are like that. And I was like, okay, cool. That checks out damn good. I like that.
So I've been
So it was
waiting.
very fun.
I've been waiting all episode for this one. Can you spit a line from the game?
No, I don't remember crap. That was 10 years ago. You just said it. I don't remember what the number is I called yesterday from ADT.
But you remember that. You remember that Saints Flow. You were.
You know why?
In your sleep.
Because, man, that's my game. That's my game.
Well,
I was in that game.
Well, we fucked up and we went right over Saints Row 3. So let's double back and let's talk about probably what I consider, and I'm sure a lot of people do, and you got to sign my copy next time I see you.
Yes, I will. I will.
You got to talk to us about Saints Row 3, man. I think that might, like, don't get me wrong. You've a
Saints
million
Row the
fantastic-
third. The third.
I've always called it 3. That's
The
my
title is phenomenal.
It's an amazing game nonetheless. But the fact of the matter was, this was Dan's first Saints Row game because he's very
Good
stingy when he buys video games. He's always like, I'm gonna wait till it's on sale at Walmart.
I understand. or until you can take 4 back to GameStop and maybe get $1 as you leave out.
Or
Yeah,
or
exactly.
for situations like this where you have the ability to take 150 grams of edibles and just get smacked and play probably one of the greatest games of all time. So let's talk about this because I mean our history really intertwines here because I was hanging with the Volition dudes during the community launch for this.
Yes.
I was hanging with them for Saints Row 4. We did a lot of streams together. Talk about your experience on Saints Row 3 because this is when Pierce really came into his own. He was the best
I was part
friend.
of the team.
Yeah,
I was
the
part of
best
the team.
friend.
Yes. This was fascinating. This is when Elijah Dushku, she did not return. They brought in Danny Nicolette, who is still a friend of mine. You guys know her from The Flash.
Yep.
Everybody knows her from The Flash. We call her 5 Feet of Awesome because that's the name she gave us, and we love her for that. Because she actually is 5 feet of awesome.
She was Chandra, right?
Shandi.
Shandi.
Yeah, and she
because
came in
Eliza
there
didn't
and
come
rocked
back.
it. Yeah, she rocked the fuck out of that.
I personally and Eliza Dushku's from Boston, so I should be biased, and she's also really super hot. Sorry, Rebecca, I know you're
Dude,
watching.
hey man, Elijah Dushku is everything, but where her career went wrong is not her fault.
No.
It's all Fox's fault because Dollhouse was the shit.
Yeah, it was.
Good.
But
Dollhouse was Westworld.
Here's the
It
thing
was
about
ahead of
it
its
too.
time.
Her not coming back really sucked, but
But it opened up a whole new
huge-
world,
huge
bro.
Whole new world, really added depth to Shandi. Pierce became huge. Like the Saints really came into their own in 3, and it was it was fun because it was a coming of age tale of criminals. We got to see Johnny Gat really be Johnny Gat.
Hell yeah.
One of my favorite buddy scenes in the entire history of any video game, and I'm sure you're all like me, that opening drive scene when you pick Pierce up and you're in the car and you're singing What I Got by Sublime together. Like I think it's muscle memory for me at this point that every time that comes on,
You
I
hum along.
smile and I sing it along with it. And I think that was the intention of it, but I want to hear all about the experience of Saints Row 3 because I mean I had my own experience with Saints Row and it's something I'm so proud of.
It was one of the greatest things for everybody involved. When people got it in their hands and they actually loved it, it was just another dynamic. I remember going to Comic-Con in San Diego and just really, what's his name? Sam Worthington from Avatar.
Yes,
he was
Sam
at the
Worthington.
launch party, dude. It was crazy. Danny had to get me in because she had more TV credits than I did. They gave me one ticket to the IGN party. I got one ticket, but then Danny got my wife in. It was just fun. So it's little stuff like that. That was my first Comic-Con, and we didn't even stay. We just went down for the party and came home. But that
That's
was
when you know you're
fascinating.
making it, man. That's when you know you don't. That's when you know you're beyond where you were. Is
Yeah.
when you don't even have to step on the show floor of the show you're supposed to be at.
I beg to differ. I was not invited. So,
How dare that? Man, fuck you, Comic-Con. How dare you?
but I will say I got brought back with Mark Evan there. But Saints Row 3, man. Number one, we were at Keith and Val's house over at PCB having a freaking loaded time. I already did the Suffering with them. Already did the manga game with them. The Devil Saga. We did a couple of other projects, and we were just having fun. And to then come in and we're doing this, and you're working. I finally get to meet Troy Baker. I'm working with Yuri Lowenthal that I had seen at a couple of auditions. I didn't know a lot about him. And
Ashley
then,
Birch was in there too.
yeah, Ashley
did a
Birch
game-
was in there, but
yeah.
I didn't get a chance to work with her that I know of.
No,
But
she's
then-
in the DLC. I did a game with her actually called Children of Liberty.
Yeah.
And I had a video call with her and small game. Like I've done a couple tiny games, but she was special, man. She's cool.
She's freaking cool. But I didn't know her from that. I thought she was, I don't have to even look. Natalie Lander, who ends up being like a person who I sincerely admire. She played the FBI agent Kensington.
Yep.
This ends up being a great sounding board to work back and forth with. And we learned a new process where we had the rigs on us and our mics were like this, kind of like how you have this, but with like, great quality. And it was called vocab. So it was great. And it was down the street from my house. I don't think until you're 30 years old that you realize the value of working close to home.
No, you don't. I
If,
work
if
right
you
here
can work
during the
less
day.
than if you work less than 30 minutes away from your house, you got the best damn job on the planet.
Let me tell you, during the day, Kinchen, man, I walk 13 steps from my bedroom to right here.
You're Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah,
You're like
exactly.
me.
my work laptop's right next to me. So on the topic of Saints Row, I remember a beautiful phone call from you as I climbed a rocket because I was the first member of the press at the time to get
on Saints Row 4.
the press demo from
Yes.
Stephanie Tinsley
Yes.
and from Aubrey because Aubrey was like, you give it to Billy first.
Yes.
And that was Aubrey is one of my best
Aubrey
friends.
Norris, man, freaking amazing lady.
I've tried to get her on this show. She's very as with age she's become very private, but
Yeah,
we played.
she was such a spit kicker. Now she's like
she's
demure, very bringing it down.
She's very very loved still. Aubrey, if you
Yes.
ever watch this, just know how much we love.
Shout
her.
out Aubrey Norris.
We play Forza a lot together. We bitch about
Oh
each
my
other's
God.
avatars. Yeah, she's still very much a big part of my life, though I haven't seen her in 10 years in person. But Saints Row 4, a crowning achievement for me. I got to do that community stream with you. Troy Baker stopped into that stream, and it was me, you, and Aubrey, and we flipped the VTOL jet. And
Man.
there was a tweet on the Saint, and I'll never forget this. There's a tweet on the Saints Row Twitter. The Structure Gaming guys at Arif flipped the VTOL jet, and the date, and then it says Nevar forgets.
Never. That should be framed. That should be framed.
I'm
There's
gonna
a lot.
find it and do that. I'm gonna.
There's
do
a
that.
lot of stuff from Saints Row 4, man. That is crazy. But I think mainly it was our introduction of just going to space and just like, you're listening to the story and you're like, yeah,
This story
Yeah.
is so fucking dumb, but it works.
we're going to go. Oh, okay. Steve, for real? Well, I mean, he ain't steered us wrong yet. Shit, why not?
Yeah.
It's like at that point, Steve just had us open. Like, okay, we're gonna fight Zinyak. We're gonna go. Okay, it makes sense. But it was the Johnny Gat shit that was like phenomenal.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that is where everything was like, what?
The other fun part about it was the launch, getting that press kit from. To talk about Aubrey again here for a minute, was getting that press launch with her, and the opening of the press kit was, here's a picture of me drinking alcohol, and she's got the penetrator in one hand and a glass of wine in the other.
Mm-hmm.
Classic Aubrey.
She knew how to market shit, dude. She didn't. She knows how to market shit.
She still
She's
does.
phenomenal. Yeah, she's phenomenal. She is Minecraft and Forza. She's freaking fascinating. I wish I could get her on a phone call.
Oh,
I wish I
man.
could get a random package come to my house from Forza as much as I love that game.
I'll put a bug in her ear.
Man.
So
So we go from there. We rock that out. I get to
then
work with
from
Keith
there-
David again.
motherfucking Keith David, the motherfucking president.
Yes.
You say his name right.
Listen.
God damn.
Now everybody needs to listen here. Now we're going to run for this presidency, and I believe that you can also be.
One guy
His
I
voice
would-
is so amazing.
I would fight Mike Tyson to interview him.
Man, Keith is the coolest dude ever. I
You
know
can
he
make
was.
that happen.
I know he was in something about Mary, but it's something about Keith, man.
No,
God
man,
dang it!
Keith David is a legend in his own time. You know, if he can make that interview happen.
I wish I could find him, man. I'm telling you.
He's
They-
off the
they-
grid
they-
right now, from what I understand, doing his own thing.
Man,
Enjoying life.
he has a TV show on BET that he does, man, and then he comes back home and minds his business.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. Now, from there, you did some local, and I'm gonna keep this a little bit short here because we're
Yeah,
running
knock it
short
out,
on
knock it out, knock
everyone's
it out.
time. We already talked about a bunch of stuff here, and I mean, there's a bunch more, so there can be a part 2. But
Yes.
listen, I'm just gonna go through this real quick and get to the end here. So you were a gear in the House of Sovereigns and Gears of War 4, Dickie Green in Mafia 3, one of my favorite games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Resident Evil Vendetta.
Mm-hmm.
Still questioning that one, but
It was a check, man. It was a check.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you, you were jazzed in Dan's favorite series, Transformers: Robots in
Ooh,
Disguise.
baby, yes.
Let's finish up with man. There's so much we can talk about. Literally, we could sit here all night and talk about Agents of Mayhem, which sucked.
No. That game didn't get a fair shot. You
I
know
didn't like
damn
it.
well.
I played it through. I did not.
Come
like
on, man. Okay, well, here goes the thing.
it. The mechanics were bad.
No, yes, but
Story was good.
and the repetitive rooms. But here goes the thing, kind of like Aubrey's press conference. I had a 3-hour conversation of where the game was going, so I'm always going to be biased because I know what was coming, and it's kind of effed up when you have all that privy information. You're like, shit, you guys just needed to buy it. Just buy it and wait. It's about to get really real for you.
So
So
okay, I'll give you that. You win this round.
no,
I'll
I'm
be
still.
back, Kinchen. Anyway, so there was other great games. State of Decay 2.
Yep.
Final Fantasy 15, which a lot of my friends love. But let's end this on an all about you note. Let's talk about that show called Arif.
Antoine Perriman,
My
the
man.
brainchild that introduced us, one of the coolest men in video games, and has become one of the. He's a force to be reckoned with as a writer, and I don't
Let's
mean
just
that
show a
just because
picture
we're
of
cool.
Antoine here.
Yeah,
Just gonna
show
throw
him.
it on the screen. The lovely Antoine Perriman, aka
Look at him.
Black Bible, aka
Look at him with his professional headshots.
Look at that handsome son of a gun. I offered to take those headshots for him. He didn't want me to do it for some reason.
Man, this
Next time I
mofo.
see him, I'm gonna give him the biggest hug in the universe.
You
bro.
should, man. He's a great guy.
Beautiful
And
human
he
being.
keeps the dream alive, literally. I mean that. There's a lot of times where I'm like, you know what? Let's just let the show die out, man. He's like, no.
No, he ain't letting it die.
And then we've had meetings with I don't even can you say? I didn't sign shit. Well, whatever. We've had meetings with major studios.
He won't be mad if it's
talking
'cause
about
it's
it. No, I don't know if we can mention it on their
no,
end.
we
If
don't
if they
want
want us to mention it. So it's like we've had these meetings, we've done great things, and we've been carrying it on. I had a windfall of money, and we shot 2 episodes, which was really great. We were about to shoot the 3rd one, and then just stuff was happening with him. Stuff was happening over here. We were trying to figure out what was going to go on with some things, and we weren't ever able to do it. But now the new trajectory after we had our latest meetings, this show literally can be everything. If somebody has a little just a little bit of coinage, to get behind us, we got the cameras, we got the crew, we got everything. But it's like we need at least 30 grand to pay everybody, not me, not him, but to pay like crew and guest actors. And
Hey,
you got to
man.
pay. You got to pay people. You got to pay them.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a good way to be. And listen,
Yeah.
I'll drive out for a cheeseburger if you want me to be on the show.
Hey man, we will have you on there, and you know his brain.
Yeah, of course.
He comes from video games. He loves cartoons. He
He's
loves
brilliant.
cinema. The people that he's chosen to be in it, and the people that are around, as you've seen with the Ballad of Icarus, and his other shows that he has that have gone to film festivals. He has some good things going on, and I can't wait till they give him a shot. Can't wait till Hollywood gives him a shot.
He's the future. He really is. And I say that about him. And I'll give you one more I've been saying about that as we wrap up here and we leave it open. So, guys, if you got questions, throw them in the chat right now for Arif. If you don't, get at me on Instagram. We'll have Arif back on. I think I got an episode in mind for him to come back on that he'll be perfect for. But another guy I said was going to be great, and the term of black excellence was always thrown around between those two gentlemen, Antoine Pierman and Gerard Williams. And look at them both now. Two of the greatest men on the face of the planet. I'm so proud of
Dude, Hip Hop Gamer made it to the goddamn stock exchange.
Are you kidding me? He's beyond the stock exchange, man. He is the top of the game industry, and nobody can fucking touch my big brother.
Yep, can't nobody touch him. He's doing great things.
Gerard, if you're watching, I'm very proud of you, and you know that. I tell you.
G-Dub.
All right, guys, let's open it up. Let's finish this up so Dan can go to bed because I know he has to get up to
get some
work
rest
very early.
Yes.
Oh, I worked on Dan's favorite thing too. I was in a Boston Red Sox TV show that was for the youth that they produced a couple years back. I played the coach.
Wait, which one was this?
It's on there. It's the Boston. Yeah, I did a thing for them, and it was great. They were able to send us some swag for some kids that that we had from my kids' schools.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, opening day. It's called big opening day or whatever, or called opening day.
Okay.
They were like, hey, come out to Boston. And it was like, once again, it was like, come out. Are you sending me a ticket? It was like, that's a good ticket. That's a good $300-400. How much is the hotel room? Okay, I'm adding this up. This is starting to sound.
They're keeping you at the Taj on Newberry Street. Oh,
it's starting to sound like a $1,200 trip now. Wait a minute, how much did I get paid to work on this? If you can make it add up, but it was very nice.
They were too busy paying David Price for them to be able to for you able to get good anything.
Yeah, they might have, but what I will say is, they sent out some swag for the kids, but then a friend of my son's tragically died while in elementary school, like some freakish shit. And they sent us some swag because his team, his Pop Warner or Little League team, was the Red Sox.
Yeah.
So they sent him a nice amount of swag, and I am indebted to Boston for that forever. They helped a kid when I asked them, and no questions. And I'm like, you know what? I got no problems with Boston.
I'll tell you this right now, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I don't care what anybody says about this city. LeBron James, anybody. The city has more heart than most people know.
Yeah. Very kind.
We're very proud of that. I'll tell you right now, your atypical Bostonian is nice, respectful, and doesn't hate anybody. Don't listen to the media.
Well, let me say this before I finish, because Boston is in Massachusetts, right? So I'm working on a set for Publix with my family, and they just re-upped the commercial, so you'll see it again this holiday season.
Nice.
But the phrase that pays is, "Hey man, what are you gonna say? I'm a masshole." I love that. I was like, what? I'm from Massachusetts. I'm a masshole. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, we'll talk about offline. I got one question for you. So this one's coming from Smalls, who we will see momentarily off the call. He wants to know if they wanted to bring back the original Saints Row, which we know there was just a new Saints Row, the reboot, which.
And my cousin is one of the voices.
Oh, cool! It was
fun. Literally, my cousin, my actual cousin, is in it. I'm hyped.
It's a little repetitive, but for what it is and for what they went after, it was ambitious, and I thought it was fun. I personally don't listen to other people. I liked Dead Island and where everybody else didn't, but he wants to know, would you jump back in if they brought back Saints Row?
Hell yeah!
I mean, I think that goes without saying.
I think the thing that people miss about me is, I am loyal, but if you have a good product, there's no reason to not be loyal.
Right.
Absolutely, especially with Pierce, who's probably
I had guys in the chat going off, like wanting to cuss me out. Like, I don't want the new games. I'm like, dude, just give it a freaking chance. Oh, Volition's dummy is saying this, and I was like, okay, I got
remember saying that
two
to you.
choices. I got two choices.
I said to you, "Are you in the new game? Are you in the new game?" Wait till
No.
midnight, Billy.
No, but wait a minute. I mean, like, these were guys literally on Twitter, Instagram, and
Twitter.
and on Tumblr. They were talking mad shit, dude. Mad shit. And I was just sitting there like, I don't think I should engage. Like,
No.
you want to, but it's like, this is too much. It's like you gotta relax. What did he say in Black Panther? They call him Cuckoo Khan.
Yup.
If you
Khan.
kill him, he is like
He's
a
like
god to
God.
them. So it's like, yo, I do not want to
Oh,
kick the
man.
Hornets' nest. So it's like I had to back down. I was like, this dude is probably 12. God dang it.
God damn it. All right, so whoever you are, 12-year-old on Tumblr, fuck you.
Play the game.
Play the fucking game.
Play the goddamn game.
It's fun.
It's fun, and that's all that matters. But guys, that's it for an extra long brand show tonight. We let Arif talk as much as he wanted. Now, guys, I just want to let you know this is our last episode for November. Obviously, the holiday next week, everybody's going to be traveling. We have a huge guest announcement for our next episode, which